to you from the Radio for One studios in Franklin, Michigan. Welcome to the Detroit Cast.
Big fan.
A show not just free of charge, but free of FCC regulations.
Thank you for your support of the Detroit Cast.
Oh, there it is.
And without further delay, it's showtime. Please welcome the Detroit Cast. Here are your hosts, Mike and Jay.
Well, hello everybody. Welcome to the Detroit Cast on a Tuesday with Mike and Jay. Big E, of course, is here. McCard is here. How are you, my friend?
Hi, Mike. I'm good.
Yeah?
Yeah,
It's a little late start for us this evening.
it's okay.
Yeah, I suppose.
Nothing wrong with that.
Well, it's okay now. Catch us in an hour and a half. And then, I got to be honest, I'm a little bit worried about where this
Especially Big E
Crew.
over there.
I'm fine.
I think the faces I'm looking at now in the crew are going to be drastically different come an hour and a half from now.
McCard will be gone.
Yeah, mine will be missing.
People will be missing. E will look like this.
Don't worry,
Nothing
Mike.
a fresh.
Are you going to be there? You
Be
tell him.
fresh and ready to go.
We'll see. We'll see. Anyways, welcome to the show, everybody. On a Tuesday, dare I say, a big show today. A lot to get to.
You're sick of saying that? Are you mad
Yeah.
that that's a thing now?
No, I don't care about that. You know what I'm sick of? I'm sick of the daily cycle of news, I think. That makes it hard to do a news-based show because there's not, like, if you look at the news, everything is so terrorism related
Yeah.
that it makes it hard to get excited to do, you know what I mean? Like, I feel like we've said everything we can say about so much of this stuff, you
A little
know?
bit, yeah.
So it gets a little hard to deal with, but whatever, we'll find a way through. We got a guy that, you know, had an incident with a wood chipper. I don't know what your odds are when you take on a wood chipper.
Dude, there couldn't be anything grosser.
Yeah.
A body going through a wood chipper.
ICE
An
is chucking
industrial
you off a
wood chipper.
roof,
We're gonna do a
handcuffed and
story about-
blindfolded,
We're-
chucking you off a roof.
Steamroller.
What's that?
Steamroller.
Steamroller.
That's
Yeah.
the winner.
Steamroller would not
Tuba
be.
toothpaste.
No, wood chipper's worse than
Tuba
steamroller.
toothpaste, bro.
Steamroller would be okay if as long as you went head first.
Dude, wood chipper, you're being chipped. You're being chunked up. You're being like hamburger.
Yeah, but like the pieces wouldn't be recognizable. You have a flat person if you had a,
Yeah, we all saw Naked Gun. We know what happens.
and also a Roadrunner and things like that. Yes.
Flat Stanley. Is
You'd
that
go-
the kid's book? Flat Stanley?
yes.
Where they like they
Yes.
fold them up and mail in places.
Yep.
Really?
Yeah, there's a kid
Yeah.
named Flat Stanley.
Yeah, you mail him to like somebody and they're supposed to write a letter from him back.
Really?
Mine went to Nana's
yeah.
house.
I mailed mine to my
Flat Sta-
grandpa.
Yeah.
Really?
I recall this.
Yeah, you guys are right in the heart of the Flat Stanley time.
I'm not
Yeah.
familiar with Flat
Yeah, I knew
Stanley.
you wouldn't be. The only
Look-
reason I
look
am
up a
is
picture
because
of
one of
Flat-
my kids had one of the books. Yeah,
Yeah.
It teaches about mail, Mike, and how mail works.
yeah.
Oh,
But
I
the
see.
kid is he's so flat they can fold him up.
Yeah. Well, I think if you're going that route, you would want to go head first, right? You wouldn't want to go
Through a
feet
wood chipper.
first
Oh yeah.
through a wood chipper at
There he
all.
is.
There's Flat Stanley himself
He looks like a ripoff of Curious George in human
climbing
form.
out of an envelope.
I forgot that the point of it was to teach you how the mail system worked. I forgot about that part. Because I was
So-
thinking about, oh, sorry.
Becoming
No, go ahead.
obsolete even.
Well, I was thinking about the other one because wasn't there another one that during the summer break or something, or it'd be like every kid would get him for a week and you'd have to take him on some adventure or something. Did other people have that one
Wait,
too?
are you talking about your first 8th grade or your second?
I'm talking about like fucking third grade, you asshole.
First or second?
I only had one.
Okay.
There's only one repeat.
No, there's stuff like that all the time where they give kids, for example, a class pet. Did you ever take a class pet home?
No, but I know what that is. Like if you have a guinea pig that's in the
well,
class.
we had Cedar and Rosie in my kindergarten class, and who we took home over like a winter break. That was
Really?
exciting. Yeah.
And you personally got to take it home?
Yep.
You ever kill one of them?
Chet and I, no, but somebody did. Somebody took Cedar and Rosie home like the next break, and Rosie died.
Really?
Rosie was creepy though. It was one of those guinea pigs with the red eyes.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Why does that happen?
I don't know.
You know?
Yeah. So did Rosie die of old age or neglect?
We don't know. We
You
don't
don't
know.
know.
We were never told. We were never informed. Remember, I had that think of a teacher, Mrs. Howell, who stole my owl.
Exactly.
No,
Remember?
I don't remember
Didn't we
that.
talk about this last week?
Yes. We talked about it like a week ago.
We did.
So she wasn't real,
For show and tell.
up front with facts. Let's put it that way.
Well, if
So we
what if
never
it was,
really heard the real deal with Rosie.
what if the details were horrifying and she was
Protecting
holding those
us.
back from
Like they
from you?
squished her.
Yeah, or something.
Could have been. That happens a lot with little kids and rodents, like they roll over on them or something.
Really?
Yeah.
How many people are sleeping with rodents?
I'm not saying sleeping necessarily, just messing around, let them out of the cage and
Step on it.
like Brown Shoe. That's how Chet's gerbil Brown Shoe died.
Really?
Dude, there was this very short-lived series called 10 Speed and Brown Shoe. I think Ben Vereen and Jeff Goldblum possibly acted
What?
in this. Dude,
Was it a cartoon?
No, it was a very short-lived series in the 80s. It was like a prime time thing, 10 Speed and Brown Shoe. So when we got our gerbils, no, I'm sorry, mine was Brown Shoe, his was 10 Speed. You got it, McCard?
But you named them after the,
Yeah.
which is rare because if you know you do not like naming pets.
Jeff Goldblum and Ben Vereen.
There they are.
Yes, baby. 10 Speed and Brown Shoe.
Wow.
Look at Ben Vereen.
Make it bigger. Is this being shown to the world?
Look at that son of a bitch. That's Ben Vereen, right?
Yeah, it sure is.
There he is. And his partner, Jeff Goldblum.
The Fly. Look at him.
Yeah.
Yeah. What I was going to say is if you know anything about Jay, he
He does
doesn't.
action shots. One of them was him putting mail into a mailbox.
Yeah.
You don't like naming pets. Like when you got your cats, I was like, name them Axel and Slash or something. And you don't like naming them after.
Well, I was a
Known
youngster then,
characters.
and I was probably it was probably a Chet idea. This was probably a show that had just come out, and Chet was trying to think of Fred and Barney, that sort of thing.
It's a good
And we
call.
went
Fred and Barney's
10
good.
Speed and Brown Shoe. So my point is, 10 Speed was one of these gerbils that I referred to who was accidentally crushed.
By. Did you crush a gerbil?
No, it wasn't me. It was Chet, and it's heartbreaking.
Chet.
I still remember, it was like my
Were
first
you a witness to
experience
this?
Yeah, I was.
Oh no! What happened?
First experience with death. We were messing with them. I think one of those kid pictures I even pulled for the website is me with Brown Shoe in a TIE fighter. No,
maybe.
is that on the
I don't
website or no?
remember.
Okay.
I don't remember seeing that.
So I definitely have a picture of me and Brown Shoe in a TIE fighter. I think 10 Speed is perched on an X-Wing. So we
Sure.
carried these gerbils around like they were
People,
you know,
friends.
had incredible dexterity and could survive any sort of fall. Well, Chet had 10 Speed probably 8 inches from the ground,
Yeah.
just messing with him. And we were just kind of wrestling or something.
Oh,
and
no.
and he fell and there was a roll and
No.
10 Speed broke his neck. And he started like flopping
No!
around.
Oh no.
Flopping around.
What did you do? Did you let him finish the
I
flop?
screamed like a bitch, man.
Yeah,
I was
yeah.
like, ah! Ah! It was so shocking, 'cause
Yeah.
we had these things on us all the time. Okay, gerbil joke, whatever. No, we carried these things around all the time. We had, accidentally dropped them a little bit, whatever, and they were just cool with it. They'd hang with us.
Wow. How
And
big
so
were
for that
they?
they were just normal,
Like-
full-grown gerbil. I don't know. Yay big.
Yeah. I don't,
Kind
Not as big as a guinea pig,
right.
bigger than a mouse.
Yeah,
Wow.
exactly.
okay. All right. That's a horrifying
It
story.
was horrifying.
How did Chet react?
Chet screamed like a bitch too.
Really? How
Yeah.
old were you guys? Like 15, 16?
What year did that come out, McCard? That could probably help me identify that. Because I guarantee
Yeah,
you
that was the hot
a-
new thing because it was very short lived. So
Oh,
it
it's
had to
very
have been right around the time of that
I bet
show.
that was a one season deal, 10 Speed and Brown Shoe. I defy anybody out there to recall 10 Speed and Brown Shoe, the show.
It lasted from January 27th, 1980 to June 27th, 1980. Not very popular.
Wait, to 1980 what did it last?
1980, the same year that it came out.
Yeah.
So I thought you said 82 to 1980.
That's what. Yeah.
January 80 to June 80.
Yes.
Okay.
Okay.
So it was a mid-season.
So I'm 7 and you're 6.
So is that a mid-season replacement?
Yeah, it was bad.
And then didn't make it to the
I mean,
fall
you saw the
lineup?
trailer.
I mean, that's not the fall. That wouldn't have been the start of a fall season. That would have been a mid-season replacement that made it for a couple months,
Yeah.
and you're aware of it. Wow.
I named my gerbils after it.
Wow.
Not just aware of it.
Not seeing it in these photos. Although when I am looking at these photos, dude, there is way more of me than you guys in these photos. Do you realize that? I mean, I don't care, but dude, there is like a lot more of my
Well,
photos.
we're
in
older
here.
than you, dude. I think like for the most part, like your generation probably got more photos than ours.
Maybe that's it.
No, I think yours got misplaced.
'Cause look
Jay, are Jay's in there?
Yeah, I mean, there's
Does he have-
some. There's like.
Oh yeah, mine might not have got up.
I don't think they did. I don't think all
Look
the
at-
ones you
look at how
submitted
many
got
I
out.
have, dude. Mine are from this one all
that-
the way
that's
down
good.
here.
Yeah.
These are all me. And then
How
if you
how
go,
many does Jay have?
I mean,
0.
I don't know what this is. I just. I don't know how that's. Why is that in the kids' picture?
That's Boner's Revenge. Is what that is.
That is absolutely Boner's Revenge.
Yeah, check out the kid photo area and try to pick out the picture that might be Boner's Revenge. See if you can figure it
I
out.
think it
Yeah.
might be pretty obvious if you see it.
It's a test for the class.
Yeah,
Find Boner's Revenge in the child photos on the Detroit Cast
Yeah.
page.
But there's like a shit ton of meat. So you're right. Maybe yours just got lost.
I
But
forgot about that.
So did I. He would have helped us implement that, though.
Yeah,
So you can't get too mad at us.
the guy in
Um,
the zebra footies.
Don't give it away.
Okay.
Don't give it away. Speaking of footies, though, we do have a shoe fetish story, sex game that kind of went awry. But we should probably start with your favorite subject, which is all the terrorism shit that's going on. Donald Trump, of course, is he brilliant with making headlines or what? He's
Dude.
just so good at launching a headline story, and I don't know whether that's to change the subject, or because he had a nice change the subject moment while we were gone, and I can't remember what it was right now.
I don't either.
It might have been something he said right before the Paris attacks hit, and that kind of changed the narrative for him, maybe. But anyway, he came out today and called for a total and complete shutdown of Muslim immigration into America. Yeah, he claimed the country was at risk of horrendous attacks by people that believe only in jihad, and this has people outraged, of course. And you know, it's kind of funny though. People have stopped even like it used to be. He would say something like that doesn't even seem that outrageous to me. I mean, this is kind of outrageous, but stuff that is just kind of out there, but not something you would get out of a mainstream politician. He would declare something and people go, well, this is officially the end of Trump. This is unsurvivable. They've stopped even saying that. They've stopped even going there where it's like, no, he's just playing by a totally different set of rules.
Well,
They don't
because
apply
every
to him.
time they said that, he went up in the numbers. In the
Yeah.
polls. Yeah.
Which is really weird, kind of scary, but
Yeah.
weird. Anyway,
I really think we're getting to that point where it's like, okay, everybody, is this the guy we want? Really?
well, what's the fear? Okay, the GOP does not have to nominate him, right? Like if he wins, they don't necessarily have to
Well,
pick him, though.
You're really winning. What do you call it? It's delegates, right?
Right.
And so those delegates go and vote. And I mean, are you saying that technically that vote is just all that always goes to the person?
Yeah, it shows where the country's leaning, and so you're going with your best bet. But if the GOP were to feel like, look, this in the end in a one-on-one match is not our best bet, with the fear, of course,
Here's
that
the
is
problem,
that he
though.
runs independent.
Totally.
Yeah.
And then he splits off and takes. They couldn't beat Hillary if they split his people off. So it's a
Yeah.
no-win, man.
Yeah, it really is a tough spot because if you don't go with Trump as the nomination, he probably could go independent. And while that would piss off a ton of people who said your word is shit, man, you promised
But
us you
do
would
you
do
think
that.
if that was his
It's
word?
splitting the vote, and it's over. It's over before it starts.
Yeah.
If he goes independent, it's over. Hillary wins the nomination.
Couldn't he fight
Just
that
does.
though? Even though if he said it was his word, couldn't he fight that if it got to the point where, like you said, that really he should have taken it because there was enough votes? He could say, "Look at, you know what I'm saying? Like, look at the polls are overwhelmingly. I was supposed to win this. They chose not to have me." I feel like that he could argue that wasn't going
Yeah, but
against his word.
the difference
That's
is
a different issue, though. Mike's point is, what does the GOP do? Their hands are tied. They're fucked. Like,
yeah,
they're biggest. They're just praying for Rubio to rise up or something, so that it overtakes this, and this little experiment falls by the wayside, and everybody goes, "Okay, that was interesting." And
yeah.
we learned a few things from that, but here we go with the real guy.
I would say the same thing if it was Hillary Clinton is running as the Democratic primary, or in the Democratic, she's going to be the nomination for that party. And if at that point Bernie Sanders said, I'm running as an independent, immediately he would take some votes from her, and all of a sudden you've got a 2 against 1 that would so be a win for the Republicans no matter what, right? It just would.
Yeah.
Same way it was before.
Of course, yeah.
So that's the fear. That's the wild card with Trump that's so scary. But anyways,
the fear too. Here's the thing, though. He's so far ahead. Like, something drastic is going to happen for him to fall and somebody to rise above him, that it's probably going to lead him to be really pissed off. Right?
Yeah.
Like, something's going to happen if Rubio somehow jumps him. It's going to be viewed by him as bullshit.
Yeah.
Because he's so up there right now and so in control. And so you do worry, then, is he going to get behind Rubio or whoever it is?
Right.
Or is he just going to fall off and like he says, then break off and have an argument?
And I
like,
feel like-
look, you guys
right.
dicked me. You guys dicked me somehow.
He could.
Yeah.
I mean, for a guy who always talks about respect, that's a time that he could say,
Yeah, but his ego's too big.
It is too big. And that's the thing. His ego is so full and big right now. It's going to be a tremendous letdown if somebody jumps him.
Yeah.
He is going to be so deflated and hurt by that.
Yeah.
That he's going to, and you see what happens when just somebody gets close or somebody gains.
Yeah.
He lashes out at him.
Well, Ben Carson, that was what he was saying. That came out the day before the Paris attacks, where Carson all of a sudden jumped up into almost a tie with him in certain pockets. And he was
like,
calling,
you believe this guy?
He was calling Iowa voters stupid, wasn't he? Wasn't he saying, "What are you, idiots?"
Yeah.
And people were like, "What? You can't say something like that." And then the Paris attacks happened, and it just kind of all of a sudden it cleared that slate. So anyway, he sent out a message today saying Donald J. Trump is calling for a total and complete shutdown of Muslims entering the United States until our country's reps can figure out what is going on. According to Pew Research, among others, there's great hatred towards Americans by large segments of the Muslim population. Most recently, a poll from the Center for Security Policy released data showing 25% of those polled agreed that violence against Americans here in the United States is justified as part of the global jihad. 51% of those polled agreed that Muslims in America should have the choice of being governed according to Sharia. And I know that sounds laughable, but that's kind of happening over in Europe in certain places.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? So that's not as crazy as it sounds.
Didn't he double down though and say, like, even if somebody leaves the country on holiday,
Yeah.
and then comes back, we're not going to let them in or some.
Yeah.
well,
I don't
that
know.
would be a little tricky.
No, I know, but
Yeah.
but I think he went so far. Am I imagining that?
No, I don't think you are. And well, people are poking holes in it like crazy. I mean, there's people that are working in the Middle East for the military that are your translators and stuff.
Yeah.
And like, what about those guys? I mean, there's all kinds of things you can point to, but I understand his greater message. I understand where he's coming from. Without looking at the various polling data, it's obvious to anybody that hatred is beyond comprehension. Where this hatred comes from and why we will have to determine. Until we are able to determine and understand this problem and the dangerous threat it poses, our country cannot be the victims of horrendous attacks by people that believe only in jihad and have no sense of reason or respect for human life. If I win the election for president, we're going to make America great again. Donald J. Trump. Yeah. I understand what he's saying. And I know there's a giant part of the population that understands that too. And I think this plays more to, is it more to not so much hatred as the ineptitude that is felt across the board for the way things are done right now.
No, that's one way of looking at it. Yeah, you just don't trust the system that's in place. And until we can trust that and know that people are being vetted.
Which we know they're not.
Stop everything, you know?
Yeah. And yeah, it's a very scary time, and I think it shows the level of terror that people feel. People don't feel safe right now.
Mm-hmm.
Is that the worst thing in the world to have someone go, hold on, let's just take take a break here and think about this for a second. We don't know what's coming in. It doesn't mean everybody's bad. It just means we're not able to identify where the problem is. So until we're able to identify what the big problem is and where it lies and how to handle it, we need to stop this. We need to close these borders. That's kind of what he's saying.
Yeah, whether you can find validity in this, I guess, goes to how dire you think the circumstances are. I mean, if you're on Obama's side and you're looking at it like, got this thing contained, it's not that big a deal, then this sounds incredibly outrageous.
Sure.
The notion of discriminating against a certain class of people like that. But if you really think this is dire and you really think that the system in place is inept to handle screening, then yeah, it's extreme. But
Yeah.
is it so off base? I guess in a vacuum, maybe it's not, right? But then you kind of alluded to it a second ago. How do you practically implement something like that? You start poking holes all over it, and there's exceptions, and there's, well, what about that? And
Yeah.
it's just like all the shit he says, the whole Mexican wall, all that stuff. Everything is just a generality. And in this case, kind of a fear-mongering thing, whip up the crowd, play to that emotion.
Yeah.
And without a specific real, really? Seriously, how are you going to do that? Like constitutionally, how are you going to handle this?
Yeah, and I think that's the problem too. You don't constitutionally have the right to do that. Although, haven't there been examples? I think there was precedent set years ago for stuff like this.
Yeah,
wasn't
the
there?
Japanese camps.
Not before the camps. Before the camps.
The Indians?
No,
Feather?
I'm just kidding.
Feather. Yeah, of course. No,
I'm just
shit,
I'm-
my history. I don't know.
What do
But in the 40s, FDR did something.
I think you're referring to the Japanese.
Gotta
No,
be.
it was
camps.
pre the Japanese camps, though. Obviously, the camps were. We all agree that wasn't a great
Are you
idea.
talking about the blacklist, like with commies, or I mean,
Yeah,
I know that's
I don't-
Hollywood, but
That was
No.
after.
Yeah, I don't know. The other thing that's frustrating though is, and it speaks to the level of distrust. Every politician, of course, is going to jump on these statements and act like he's a monster for making them. You've got both sides of the aisle. Jeb Bush took to Twitter. Donald Trump is unhinged. His policy proposals aren't serious. Lindsey Graham sent out a bunch of tweets. Donald Trump has gone from making absurd comments to being downright dangerous with his bombastic rhetoric. He's putting at risk the lives of interpreters, American supporters, diplomats, blah, 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 with these bigoted comments. Every candidate for president needs to do the right thing and condemn Donald Trump's statements. Chris Christie, this is the kind of thing that people say when they have no experience and don't know what they're talking about. We do not need to resort to that kind of activity, nor should we. We need to cooperate with peaceful Muslim Americans who want to give us intelligence against those who are radicalized. John Kasich, this is just more of the outrageous divisiveness that characterizes his every breath, and another reason why he is entirely unsuited to lead the United States. Ted Cruz. It goes on and on and on. But I know that these people are going to say, like, they look at this as an opportunity
Of course.
politically.
Of course.
So
what do they really believe?
exactly. Like, oh, here's another opportunity. Trump he's extended an olive branch to me to take advantage of the situation.
Let's see if we can whack away at his poll numbers. That's
Right.
all this is.
And so it's hard to take anything they say seriously and not go, no. I don't think it's outrageous. When you look at the pictures of the people, the terrorists, they release new images of them at the airport. It's like, yeah, I've seen that at the airport. I know what that looks like. They look like normal enough people, but you just don't know what's in their heart and mind. And so I think that's a fair thing to go, dude. I don't know. I don't like it. I don't like feeling unsafe in my own country. God damn it.
You're safe in
America.
your house. You stay here. You're
America.
you got a bomb structure pretty much down
good.
here.
You just keep
so.
staying in your house like you do.
Yeah.
Well, how's this going to affect your day to day?
Alternatively, you could go to Twin Peaks. At Twin Peaks, you'll find the best kitchen in sports, making everything from scratch and a beer selection ranging from local crafts to their famous 29-degree drafts. Try any of their made-from-scratch teasers like the Peak Sampler, which includes fried pickles, mozzarella bites, and buffalo tenders. Visit Twin Peaks, the ultimate sports lodge, to watch your favorite college and professional football games. Moreover, did you know that Krista Jelski of Remax Suburban can help you buy or sell a home even if you're looking or live far away? Krista can find you an excellent realtor anywhere in the country. Call Krista and she will connect you with the best local realtor for all your real estate needs. Check out her website at kristasellshouses.com or call her anytime at 586-918-0900.
Law enforcement, they say, is now facing what one former CIA officer calls an impossible task of thwarting threats like the one that unfolded in San Bernardino, California.
Especially when you add jihadi bitches in, right?
Well, that and the problem comes, like, our counterterrorism people are really good at finding things where you've got underground discussions going on the web and plans being made. They're really good at finding that stuff. But the problem comes when you've got people that are kind of laying in the fringes, subscribing to the ideology, and then deciding once a call to arms has been made to go act on it.
Mm-hmm.
Like, what are you supposed to do with that? Like, there's no way, like, and we've talked about this. If you and I and Big E wanted to get some guns and just go be monsters somewhere, what are you going to do?
If we don't care about dying, it's incredible. You know?
Like, we could go, you could literally jump in your car, go up to game day in East Lansing or Ann Arbor and just mow a bunch of people down. What are you going to do? How do you stop that? You don't. In a free society, you cannot stop that.
That's it right there. In a free society, it's like how much of our freedom do we want to give up to protect from that? I mean, you could get close to 100% knocking that down, but you'd be living in a police state. You know, so if we want to live the way we do, then you're going to always have this danger of the lone wolf. And that's the most frightening thing. Absolutely, is the lone wolf. Because like you say, they go undetected. They're just sitting and stewing and biding their time.
And getting more and more radicalized. If you and I had this ideology and I'm sitting there going, yeah, fuck this country, man. This is bullshit. I feel like a loser. You're definitely a loser. What are we going to do, man? And you're ramping it up, and then I'm ramping you up. And next thing you know, we're doing target practice, but we're completely off the radar. There's nothing in this country that says you can't go buy a gun and go do target practice every day.
Right.
You can do that every day. And nobody's ever going to blink at that. Nobody's going to think twice, think you're up to something. And I can promise you, I wouldn't be going and telling my neighbors like, yeah, man, fuck this country. I'd probably just be sitting in my basement stewing about it, watching stupid videos online, which millions of people do, the propaganda videos. Tons of people watch that shit and just ramping yourself up. So that's a real problem for our law enforcement. But the other thing that goes back to Trump's point is when you see a chick who's totally radicalized, and there's a trail now of radicalization, and there's more of a trail coming out on this Saeed Farouk, and yet now we've got travel to Saudi Arabia and Pakistan, and then they're coming back through and clearing customs in Chicago and going home, and they're not really communicating, I mean, a ton with people. Like, you failed to pick up on that, and look what happened. Look what two psychopaths were able to do in San Bernardino.
Yeah.
And the terror that it's brought on the whole country.
Yeah, it kind of touches on this thing we've hit on it a few times with stories. Like, I can't stand, one of my pet peeves is when they have these attacks, for example, Paris, where they're like, oh my goodness, it was so well organized, very, very well planned, and they must have been trained and all this stuff. It's like, no, man, you don't need to be that trained. You don't need to go over and do the monkey bars and the walking lunges.
Yeah, and crawl on your belly on the dirt.
Yeah, you don't need to do all that shit with your hoods on and your dumb shit that we always saw those Al-Qaeda videos and laughed at them. No, you just need to get a gun and, like you say, go to the range a few times, make sure you understand how to handle it.
Yep.
And then it's a free for all.
Yep.
I think we
and
can
even
all,
if that, I mean, you don't
right,
even
or
need
just
to go to the
get
range.
a gun and understand how to load it.
Right.
Yeah. And occasionally you run into the guy that doesn't really know what he's doing, thinks he's going to pull it off anyways, and the cop just goes, boom!
Those two. Where was that, in Texas?
Yeah, they drove from Phoenix, just ramping each other up like, fuck yeah, it's go time,
Listen to
man.
shock jams in the car. And
Hell yeah. And then they pulled up.
Like Dwight Schrute before a sales call.
Right. Just,
yeah, they pull up.
Fuck yeah. Fuck yeah.
Get out with their AKs. Boom, boom.
Oh, man. Wow, that was easy. I thought it was going to be a lot harder than that.
Was that one of those Muhammad cartoon things?
Yeah, totally.
The contest.
Yep,
Yeah.
they were having a contest in Dallas or Houston or something.
God, did they just sit there in Arizona? Those motherfuckers are going to have a contest.
Oh, man.
Because you can't even draw the Muhammad, right? No one can draw.
You're not even allowed to do what you just did and talk about it.
Okay, well,
Even that, you're probably on the target list now for ISIS.
I hope they're not going to be on their way from Arizona.
They'll never get across the moat at the Fady
That is a good point.
all those gators.
Exactly.
But yeah,
the drawbridge will certainly goes up
It'll
in the evenings.
stand.
Well, it goes up on the evenings.
Yeah.
How are they gonna gators in the lake and whatnot?
Anyway, former New York City Police Commissioner Ray Kelly told ABC News that the San Bernardino attack was a game changer and how law enforcement is going to have to evaluate threats moving forward. He noted that New York City has done more here than probably anywhere in the world in terms of fighting terror threats on a local level. But now investigators are faced with the fact that smaller cities may become targets. That's a huge problem. It's one thing when New York City is trying to watch its back.
Didn't they stop somebody just like last week? Didn't they catch somebody that had a bunch of crap in their car?
Probably.
I'd have to look it up. I swear I saw a thing that said they'd stopped somebody, and it turns out they had a shit ton of stuff in their car. It's just a normal stop. I'll check it out, man.
Yeah, there's
San
soft
Bernardino
targets everywhere. Just,
yeah.
I mean, you could name any community around here.
Yeah.
Enough people to make an impact and make a statement, just like San Bernardino.
Yep.
It doesn't have to be a big city. Obviously, you're going to get bigger, crazier press if it's downtown New York, but you can do a lot of damage just in small community.
I think you can get just as much press.
That would have been 50 times bigger had it happened.
You think so?
Downtown New York, yeah.
Yeah, but you're already starting to see it dwindle already, which is my fear with these things, is that you become desensitized to these stories. Just like with ISIS stories. Like I scroll past stories of, they chucked a few more gay guys off the roof again. That just happened a couple days ago. Took a couple homos, put them up on the roof, handcuffs behind their back, blindfold on, chucked them off the roof to
Happens every day, doesn't it?
It happens a lot. There was a story today about some guy who was practicing magic.
Oh yeah, I saw that.
So, witchcraft or sorcerer, they call him. He's probably pulling quarters out of people's ears, and it's freaking the people.
Hey, look at my thumb! Look, comes apart.
He's doing that.
Infidel!
He's a witch. He's a witch. And
no, look, it's my thumb.
Witch.
Got your nose.
Yeah, he's totally doing got your nose to like children in the village, and they fucking blindfold
got your
him.
Nose guy.
Got your nose. He's doing simple magic. So I don't know if he's pick a card, any card guy, or got your nose. I'm not sure, but either way, I mean, maybe he was well respected, and he was even up to pulling a rabbit out of a hat. I don't know. It's hard to say at this point, but it cost him his head. And there was another guy that it cost him his head as well. And then an ambulance came and they said picked up the bodies. So I don't know if that means the heads are left in the street for the kids to play with. Yeah, but
I would think magic in ISIS-led areas is not the best thing.
Shouldn't do that.
I think that's probably against Sharia law. Got your nose and stuff.
Picture a guy walking down the street with a top hat and banging his cane and little smoke coming out of the end and shit.
Turn it into flowers.
Pulling a rabbit out.
Yeah, it doesn't go over well there.
Dude, does magic suck or is it just me?
It's the worst.
I disagree.
I fucking hate magic.
It's so lame.
For me, magic is like comedy almost. If it can be
it's
very
right.
bad, it can be very. If it's good, I think magic can be awesome. If it's good.
Do you have a magic trick you
no,
do?
God, no.
What now? What do you think of when you think of magic? Like good magic?
I don't like his shit now, but like his earlier stuff. Chris Angel when he first came out, when he first came out, dude. The Chris Angel show I think was good.
Yeah,
but I don't know what's good magic. You know what? I like more just. I think I'm more like the simple stuff though. Honestly, I like card tricks are cool to me.
Yeah.
When someone can practice it that well,
I can respect the skill and the sleight of hand.
Totally.
I would say that's more what I probably like is more sleight stuff like that than necessarily because I know all the stuff is fake. But
I was gonna say that was my next question for you.
But
it's fake.
But a sleight of hand or something, I respect. Like you said, I don't know. I like that it's like you clearly know they just trained themselves enough that they can just do it and you can't see it.
I can't stand like because those guys Copperfield and those guys.
I never really saw
all the drama.
Yeah,
remember Doug Henson in the '80s used to have all those freaking specials. Doug Henson, he had like he had a long perm, a big Kitterman.
Nice.
Oh, dude, you got to see Henson. If you don't know Doug Henson,
I'm sure I would have. I would have watched those specials.
Dramatic and fun. Everything was great.
Yeah,
he was kind of he was a little different than Copperfield. Copperfield was very, drama and smoke and mysterious. Doug Henson was kind of not fucking or Doug Henning. Yeah, Doug Henning. Sorry,
Is that him?
that's him.
I do not remember him.
Check him out, dude.
Well, yeah. On Copperfield, though,
Look
I
at
never
that Kitterman. Hold on.
pause it for a sec. That's not Kermit. Is that a different kind of
We've got
frog?
the frog and
That's
Henning.
old Kermit, bro.
Wow. Okay. My problem with Copperfield and guys like that were like they had to ramp up their specials every time was like, we're going to make an elephant disappear.
I know.
Well, no,
yeah.
you're not. No, you're not. There's either mirrors or something
Plus
going
it's
on.
TV, so you're like,
Yeah,
yeah, you can do
you
anything
can't-
you want.
Yeah, exactly. Oh, now we're making a plane disappear from a hangar.
Right.
Like I have no, but I agree with E and you.
A
Those
simple sleight of hand.
sleight of hand with card
pretty neat.
tricks.
Well, and there
I
were-
can totally see where that's.
And it's
There
the guys
were-
like on the street who do it. and
Yes,
shit.
yeah,
That's the
there's-
most impressive.
Yeah.
I just even this last time when I went to Vegas last year on vacation, like I know this was like 3 in the fucking morning, 4 in the morning, but there was some dude doing shit, and I know that it's fake. I get it, but I'm watching it
Yeah,
and I
Trying to
can't
pick it out.
understand how it's happening, and I do think that's cool to some level. Now I don't know, not a Magic fan, but I think on some level it can be cool.
Yeah, I guess you talked me into it. I can respect the sleight of hand a little bit, but this garbage. See, this is what I grew up with, like Doug Henning doing his dumb shit.
Let me see him.
Sawing chicks in half and all that. Get out of here.
Yeah,
I agree with that.
And Mike's right too with the we're gonna make an elephant because they're not, so it's
Yeah.
ridiculous.
Robin Fozzie hasn't really practiced and studied the art of magic. But
You don't
know,
remember
Robin,
this guy?
There is
No, I
real
don't.
magic inside of each one of us. It's a magic that we all have that allows us to fulfill our dreams and turn them into
Jesus.
reality.
This had to be late
and
70s.
all you have to do, Robin,
Late
is
70s,
believe in
early
your
80s.
own
He
magic.
had many
And
specials.
then
Robin.
nothing is
You're totally
impossible.
right. That's a different
Really?
Oh, that's his nephew.
It's true. Look,
Yeah, that's
I'm going
Kermit's
to show you
nephew,
some
right?
magic now that's just like you.
You mean it's green?
No, it's small.
Here goes Doug. Awesome. Can you believe this is the shit we used to watch as kids?
Wow.
Amazing. He's making a little handkerchief go side to side. But look at that dude. Look at his hair and stash.
Yeah. Did you mind it when you were a child?
No, I definitely thought this guy was a little weird.
Yeah.
And I remembered him with a perm, I guess, but I'm misremembering, I suppose.
Well, I mean, he could have had one. It was just
Yeah,
one.
maybe in later years. No, I this is the type of shit. When I was a kid, and tell me if your parents were the same. You had the TV guide,
Yeah.
and there would be times where, yeah,
the TV guy.
yeah.
Think about that you had to get a magazine that would tell
Yeah.
you when the show.
No, this wasn't one like purchased like TV guide. It was
Okay.
just the one that came with
Came in the
paper.
newspaper.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah, on the
Yeah.
back.
So you'd have the TV guide, and my parents would like be going out for the evening, and so my dad would be like, "Oh, let's look in the TV guide, see what's on
Yeah.
TV for you guys to watch." Oh, Doug Henning has a special tonight, so he'd like circle it,
Oh no, my
And then-
dad didn't do that.
and then he'd leave it for the babysitter. Be like, "Yep, so Doug Henning has a special. The boys would like to watch that.
Would
Maybe
they?
after that they could watch the Dukes of Hazzard, but after that, put them to bed."
Wow.
Yeah, and so there'd be like these little marks in the TV.
God.
You didn't have many choices, you know.
But yeah,
That is
and
the
there
thing.
wasn't anything. There was what a difference because it's such a different thing now with having a bunch of TVs in a house and a cable box with access to everything, or just an iPad.
Yeah.
Like your kids have so much access to shit that we just not in a million years had access to.
Right.
We had 2, 4, 7, 50, 20,
sometimes
56
and
PBS.
9.
and 9.
Which 9? I mean,
9 was like
bullshit,
really,
right?
yeah,
I mean,
foggy.
You'd get a hockey game.
Well, I was gonna say the only thing 9 was
Don
good for
Cherry.
is
You watch Don Cherry.
yeah.
But that's it. Now we didn't have to suffer through that for too long before cable came in the 80s, but
I didn't even have cable until my high school.
yeah,
Until
I
was
didn't,
in high
I
school.
didn't have cable
So,
for a long
we
time.
didn't
oh,
have
dude, with my dad, are you kidding me? The
Sure.
instant it was available, we were the first place in the
Your
in the
early
neighborhood to have it.
adopters.
Yeah, we were the first people to have VCRs. I remember my dad
Beta.
brought home Beta VCR, and this thing was as big as a TV today. I mean, it was fucking huge. One of those where the thing like popped open,
Sure.
and he brought home Michael Jackson's Thriller video.
Remember how amazing that was? Though,
Oh.
to just be able to watch shit over
yes,
and over. And,
yes.
yeah.
Fast forward, yeah, it was crazy.
And that was back in the day too, where a movie would come out
And then you just go.
it's just
and
into
then-
the ether.
Right.
Like
Mhm.
you didn't.
maybe it would
the
be like a
VCR.
movie of the month eventually, right? Eventually, would
Yeah,
it be on
eventually be on TV, but it'd be years.
right?
Years.
How weird would that be? Like now, you know what I mean? That movie would come out, you'd see it in the theaters, and it'd just be like,
Yeah,
okay,
right.
My parents were telling me when we were in California over the Thanksgiving, they were saying that when they were young, when they were first dating, they would go to every movie was a double feature. So you went to 2 movies.
Oh, so you didn't have to do what you and Beth do, steal a movie.
Exactly. Yeah.
it was legal.
So they were all double features, and they were like, sometimes I think they even said 3 movies, but you would totally feel like you got ripped off. Like if they, like the idea that they would play one movie would be like, oh my God, I've been gypped. I got ripped off.
What's this
And
bullshit?
They were saying you wouldn't even know what movie you were seeing. It'd be a double feature, and you'd just go there for the movie. And then they would play them. There would be one that was like kind of a big deal, and one that was kind of like a B movie, just kind of piece of shit. And you'd suffer through it. But yeah, you wouldn't even know what you were going to. It was just, honey, let's go to the movies tonight. Whatever they were playing, they were playing.
Just go and make out. A little bit of heavy petting.
Do they still have those places? They drive-in
They
theaters?
do still have. They're
Yeah.
kind of making not a comeback, but they're
No,
there.
I would say that there was a little bit of a comeback at least a couple
They
years
had them
ago.
at the Silverdome for a little
It
bit.
seems
there.
like you could do that. That doesn't seem like a bad idea. If you didn't want to deal with assholes on their phone or talking to the screen.
No, it's a whole
I'd
new
go.
ball of problems, though. Like a whole can of worms. Because the whole thing was people would go in and just drink, get in fights. It's not as fun an environment as you think. Like I remember going and we'd go like get dressed in your PJs and shit.
Right.
Yeah, and then you'd watch and you'd take off, after the cartoon movie or whatever you were there to see.
Yeah.
And there were some bad
Seedy
dudes rolling in,
situations.
man. I remember seeing some shit just like Dad.
Yeah.
Just teenagers being teenagers and shit.
Yeah. I suppose if you had an adult version of it now, well, yeah, it probably wouldn't work, but I don't know. It still seems like a cool concept, though.
It is a cool concept.
So anyway, back to the police commissioner in New York, who's talking about what a problem this is, this whole terror alert. One way law enforcement officials are trying to garner help from the public is through the nationwide Suspicious Activity Reporting Initiative, SAR, which calls on people to report suspicious activity or individuals in their communities. Can someone explain to me how that's not profiling? Not that I have a problem with that, but am I missing something in that it seems like a real mixed message to me that we're in this PC world we live in. We're not supposed to look at anybody. We're supposed to almost give everybody the benefit of the doubt. Like, oh, he's African-American. I'm sure he's not doing what I'm worried he's doing.
Well,
it's
isn't this good?
all on the up and up.
Isn't this good news then?
Sort of, but you're still being told that. Like, don't profile. And to me, it's like, well, why not? I mean, I'm not worried about Ease Nana at the airport. I'm not worried about Ease Nana at the airport. So what does that mean? Well, who am I worried about if I go to the airport? What is suspicious activity? Some kid sets his bag down and walks away. Am I looking at him sideways? Oh my God, he forgot his bag. Or am I looking at, in fairness, am I looking at that Muslim guy just a little bit odd and going, I see he's got a backpack now. He better have that with him when he gets on the plane. And I kind of want to know what its contents are. Is that crazy to think like that?
No.
Can I call and report that?
I guess we'll have to see how this plays out. But
Is a
I think
Muslim on a
that's how
plane
that's
with a
gonna-
backpack suspicious activity?
I
Does
think
it
that's
warrant a
how
call?
this is going to play out. Absolutely, it is.
Law enforcement's vulnerability is not necessarily with their ability to respond and investigate a threat right away. They do that, and they do that very well. The vulnerability is the technology. It's putting it out on the FBI's radar so that they can respond and evaluate quickly. They're just overwhelmed. You can't possibly respond to all those. Did you hear the stats, too, about how many people it takes, how many agents it takes to give someone 24-hour watch?
Oh, yeah. It's many.
Like 30.
Yeah.
To have someone under constant surveillance, like you just can't do it.
Yeah.
So I don't know what you do, man.
You count on the citizenry
Yeah.
to report suspicious activity.
Yeah.
Hey, Steve Gabarra and the entire Zatford family would like to wish you and the Detroit Cast family a very Merry Christmas and Happy New Year. They'd also like to thank each TDC listener that's bought a new or used vehicle, parts for their vehicle, or has had their vehicle repaired in the Zatford service department. A huge thank you and happy holidays from the bottom of their hearts.
No fucking way does that mom, by the way, in San Bernardino, the mom of the Saeed Farouk and his wife, no fucking way do I buy for a second that she doesn't know
She was
what's
ignorant.
going on. No fucking way.
Why? What else came out?
Well, the feds interviewed her for 7 hours, and they haven't talked about that. But there's already spin going on and damage control. Like the lawyer representing the Farouk family is trying to
I referenced
discredit
these
the
guys
dad.
yesterday. These
Yes.
guys are jokers,
Dude,
man.
that lawyer, I finally saw him today. The guy you're probably talking about. He looked so out of his league.
Yeah.
I mean, he's getting his ass handed to him by Aaron Burnett on
Right.
CNN.
No, am I right though? Is he still arguing like they weren't part of it?
No, the story today was no. The family now acknowledges that it had something to do with terror. They're trying to discredit the father who had the unironed shirt that was straight out of the Kohl's packaging, as you pointed out yesterday. They're trying to say the guy was like,
Based on the
well-
shirt or just based on facts?
well, based on what he was saying, because he was
Okay.
saying that his son was pro-ISIS and
Yeah.
hated Israel and all that shit. So they're trying to say like, well, the dad is on like 5 medications. So, and he doesn't remember even making those statements to some really small paper in Italy. We don't even know if that happened. So it sounds like they're trying to take credit sort of for the terrorist act and acting like, our shitty kid did that. But they're trying to discredit this father.
Okay.
That came out. And then they're really trying to put distance between what the mother knew, because they don't want the mother going down for this.
Mhm.
And I'm sorry, dude. There's no fucking way in a tiny ass apartment like that. He's trying to say, well, she was really relegated to the upstairs bedroom, and she never came out, never saw anything, never heard anything, never talked to anybody, never knew anything. It's like, no way, dude. No way. Think about your own life. Is that possible that your mother could live upstairs from you and have no idea what you're doing downstairs ever?
I think it's implausible, but not impossible, Mike.
I think it's impossible.
Honestly, if you're dealing with an older woman and you just shepherd things in and out and you don't talk about it, you're just like, mom, don't worry about it, whatever. I don't know.
we could build bombs in our
dude.
garage right now, and my nana would not.
Your nana wouldn't, dude. But if you were 28, think back to when those
Do you
early
think you
days
could keep
when
it
you
from
were
your
28.
mom?
What?
Do you think you could keep it from your
No.
mom?
I
Your
don't-
mom's special, though. Your mom. Hi, Mrs. Fady, by the way.
Yeah, we know she's listening.
Yeah, she's very involved in everything.
Yeah.
Um,
No, I couldn't. But
I just don't see that as possible. And I don't. It's not like
I
he
think
was
it's
50
possible.
and his mom was 85, where you could go, yeah, mom's
you're
just
right.
kind of
How-
relegated to the bed. He's 27, dude. So what is she? 40s or 50s, 60s?
at the latest,
I
yeah,
mean-
if she's 50s, even 60s, you're right. I agree with you.
implausible, but not impossible.
Yeah.
I smell a rat, Jay. To be honest with you. Enough of this stuff. Enough of this discussion. We're not
Hey.
going to fix the world's problems overnight here on the
We're
Detroit
not?
If
Cast.
people
my
would
goal.
listen to us and implement what we're suggesting, we would.
Yeah,
Why don't we
What?
just go home then? That was my goal when I came in here today.
just to fix everything.
Yeah.
The world's
I'm
problems.
just gonna head it. I'm gonna take a day.
Yeah.
Well, in the meantime, we'll tell you about our buddy David Helm. This segment is brought to you by Helm Law. It's a full-service law firm built on the model of providing the best legal services to its clients throughout Michigan. It represents clients in a wide range of cases, including family law and divorce, civil litigation, estate planning, and criminal defense. So whether you are leaving your children in the car or your spouse is refusing to put out, call Helm Law at 248-679-8804 or go online at helmlawpc.com. They offer free consultations. Tell them you support the show and you'll receive 15% off.
Did you hear about this guy? He's driving his car. He's with a chick.
Okay.
Nice. So good so far. Did I say that?
So good so far.
Damn it.
But this is your one that doesn't necessarily
I know. I'm
not
lucky.
work.
I'm lucky.
Yeah.
so good so far.
Right.
Yeah.
Although I keep trying to say it the regular. Like I'm not
So
saying
far
it.
so good. So far so
So
good.
far so good. That doesn't. You know what's weird? That doesn't sound
So
right to me.
far, so good.
So
E,
I think the
you're
other
not,
one
you're not
sounds
too
better.
far off.
But I'm just saying though. I don't say it. I'm purposely fucked up
Right.
to. It's just.
So
I guess
good
how I
so
say
far.
it.
I kind of like so good so far.
so far, so good rolls better though. So good so far. Well, they both kind of.
They're not.
It's not.
It's not like
It's not awful.
whatever.
I don't want to give him credit for
but I
stumbling
didn't.
into.
Right. I will
to
say
that.
I stumbled into it. And then
Even a blind squirrel finds a nut.
Is it, what do they call that, Jay? When words work both ways, like mom
Right,
or dad,
Bob.
Bob. What do they call it? There's a term
I
for
don't
that.
remember.
I don't know. People are going, you morons. It's,
Right.
Yeah, but it's kind of one of those. So good so far, so good.
Little
Works
bit.
either way. Yeah, so this guy, he's driving. He's got his girl with him. He's got a chick with him. Turns out he picked her up at the bar, and
Nice.
and there was a little bit of an accident, and he killed some guy who was riding his bicycle, which I think is one of the most dangerous things you can do, to be out riding your bicycle on a public street. Yeah, right.
Speaking of bicycles.
Well, it turns out he's just cooking down Route 92 in Florida.
Mhm.
And Saturday night, when he hits 49-year-old Terry Ross, who was riding his bicycle, he was chucked from his bike, landed on the side on the shoulder.
What's this dude riding his bike around at
I know.
49?
Probably got a fucking
Costa Rican.
DUI or
My
something.
God, dude. I think I mentioned it yesterday. Maybe I didn't. These Costa Rican drivers with bicycles right next to the edge of the road, and these tour buses that just haul ass, just inches from these bike riders. It's just
That's
amazing.
crazy.
If this 7-year-old on her bike veers just 12 inches, honestly, she's getting clipped, or the handlebar's getting clipped. It's just nutty. With another car passing the other way, people are fucking nuts. So
Yeah, when we were at the 49er game, my sister and Jin's house is like walking distance to the new stadium. And so like their neighborhood, there's like a trail that comes through. It's like on this little creek,
Wow.
this little riverbed, and you just walk down this trail. So you're off the main road and you just walk to the stadium, and then you can walk home, which is what we did. We got dropped off there and then we walked home, and they have like, you can rent bikes and stuff, or you can ride your bike from the neighborhood down this path, park it there and lock it at the stadium, go to the game, and then ride your bike. But all these people are riding their bikes on this narrow path back, and you're walking, carrying shit. And it pissed me off because I had 3 riders in a row.
Clip your hand.
Wee little riders, probably no older than Sweet Pie's age, certainly not any older than Russell's age.
Mhm.
And they're riding their bike, and they'd be coming up behind you, and you've got your back to them, as they come careening up, and they'd just be screaming, "On your left." It's like someone has told them, like, but then they blow by you on the right.
Oh,
And I'm like, no, you cannot just announce "on your left" to someone's back.
yeah,
And because then I'm immediately going to get over to the right, like give them some.
yeah.
And it happened 3 times in a row. On your left. Yeah.
It's odd.
Would
Kinda-
Sweet Pie know the difference between left and
Yes,
right?
for sure.
Okay.
It reminds me of running on a trail, and where this usually happens with old milkshakes who are there's lots of couples, like older couples, who will ride bikes together, and they're all decked out with the helmets and everything, and they really are using those little ring ring ring.
Oh, I love those
And
old
dude,
bells.
if you're running and you've got earbuds in and you've got them low enough where you can hear people, I keep them low enough at least where I can usually hear someone coming, so I'm not like startled by them. But sometimes, man, those fucking milkshakes come up so slowly, and then they get right next to you. Bring on your left, on your left.
I
Like,
know.
Fuck, you almost jump out of your
I know.
skin, man.
Ridiculous.
You totally lose stride, like you're running, and you like pull something in your back because these assholes just completely
Really?
startled you.
I'm the same
Like,
man,
what,
though.
and what am I going to do? Am I going to quickly veer left? Like, what are they
I
thinking?
know.
Yeah,
I'm running
that's
in
a
a
good
line
question.
right on the right side of that
I
trail.
know.
I'm hugging that line.
Yeah.
I've not deviated more than 2 inches. What are they thinking?
I know,
Yeah,
dude.
yeah.
Although on the same hand, dude, I will say, and I rarely am the one biking. I'm usually the one running, but I do bike. And I went the other day, and I will say, you're right. When you're running, people that walk in those things though and take up the whole path,
Oh,
that is the
infuriating.
only time I say on your. I had to do it this week. I don't even like saying it because I think this sounds so dumb. On your left.
The only time I do it is if there's a dog on a leash, because I'm afraid
Yeah.
the dog is going to walk
Yeah,
by
that's
and you're
true.
going to
Yeah.
get clipped in the leash.
True
Yeah.
too.
But these are people who clearly haven't walked in a place like Michigan State. I mean, like I've alluded to this before, man, that walking to class at State, you take your life into your hands. It's an amazing
Because of the
traffic,
rollerbladers and
the well, back in my day, I have no idea if people are still skating
inline.
up there.
They're doing inline skates,
Yeah.
I'm sure.
So you've got bikers just hauling ass. I mean, hauling ass across campus. You've got walkers, just idiot people mopeds usually on the street, but sometimes they'll
Yeah.
jump a curb and go whizzing down.
I
the
know
sidewalk.
I did when I was cruising around East Lansing.
But
on
you
my hog.
quickly learn, man, either you're going to fucking die on the way to class, like literally get hit by something, or you're going to hug that right lane and you're going to look over your shoulder and be sure no one's coming before you step into the middle. But yeah, these people, man, these middle of the
Dude,
road walkers, what the hell are they doing?
I'm out, dude. It's just the Kensington and the paths we're talking about. Like
They're
I'm talking
big.
about Kensington. It's big enough that you can honestly be in the right lane and still have two abreast. Walking two.
Hugely rude.
I
Man.
hate when I have to. I shouldn't have to. There should be enough room on the left to pass somebody without me having to actually say that. To be honest with you. But
It drives me nuts at the airport. Every time I go to the airport and I've got
the
the
walking sidewalk.
sidewalk.
It even says it on the ground, right?
Exactly.
Stand, walk.
Yes. And every time there's some asshole right in the middle and they're not walking.
they
And it's
still
like,
just,
dude, really?
you can still use your legs. Like
Yeah,
You're talking about what you're
or
talking about,
just
right?
stand to the right. Stand to the right. The left side is for walking.
right.
And I'm walking along, and then there's just some asshole completely oblivious to what's going on, just standing kind of in the middle.
He's probably a left lane driver too. There's just
Maybe.
that mentality of whatever, I'm in this spot.
Yeah.
I do not understand that, man.
I
It's
don't either.
So logical and easy. Just move over to the right.
Yeah. That driving in the left lane and
Ugh.
just doing the speed limit guy, I want him run off the road.
Yeah.
I want him run off the road and blowing up in a fiery ball of flames on the side of the freeway.
I agree.
So anyway, back to this driver.
Oh shit! There's a story here.
Yeah, we're in
I
the middle of
forgot
the
we were
story.
talking about a
Yeah,
story.
we got a
Flip the
little
bike
off.
rider.
I want to hear more about Costa Rica too. I feel like I haven't gotten enough of your adventures.
We didn't really talk about it that much, other than Jay got a mud bath with his mom and dad and grandparents.
That's right. I forgot about his.
We got
mud
the
bath.
images back on that, by the way.
Oh, really?
Oh, are you going to share with the class?
No,
Why?
What about?
You have limes on
I
your
am-
eyes, don't you?
I'm not posting a picture of my parents in a mud bath.
I
Yeah,
don't.
but I
I'm
wanna
not
see it.
interested in seeing Cheryl or Bill with a mud
Well, it's like
pack.
the whole family.
Can we just zoom in on you? I want to see limes on your eyes. You have
There's
limes
no
on your
limes
eyes.
on my eyes. I'll look through them.
You have limes on your
something
eyes.
appropriate.
Are you nude? Was the
I'm
family
not-
nude
no,
for the mud
family
bath?
wasn't nude.
Well, you never
it's
know.
a-
I
it's
mean,
a
it could
mud
be a
bath.
custom there in Costa Rica. The family gets all packed in
Would
mud.
you have done it
nude.
if they told you you had to be nude? With the
No.
whole
If
family?
it was
I wouldn't have.
customs?
No.
No.
That'd be a spit on the traditions of Costa
Yeah.
Rica, the proud traditions.
So anyway, back to our story here. This driver is in Florida. He's cooking on the road. He kills this. He ended up killing this guy.
Oh yeah, on the bike.
Yeah, I mean, just launched this dude on his bike. And so witnesses called police. He took off. He was like, and then just bailed. He freaked out and bailed. Cops got, or put out, other people in the area got his license plate and called police. And they found him at Liquid Larry's bar.
You don't do that and then go to another. I mean, not that
Yeah,
you're gonna
he
get
did.
away with it anyway, but
He went to Liquid Larry's after relatives tipped him off too. Like everybody in town knew that he just
Yeah.
drilled this guy. His pickup truck was in the parking lot with damage to the front passenger side as well
He's
as
got, like,
blood stain.
hair in the bumper. Yeah.
where was this thing? You said Florida, right?
Yeah, down in Florida. He met this chick at a bar who was distracting him while driving.
Uh-oh.
Turns out she's blowing him.
Well,
I mean, I know. Does that change the story a little bit?
is it fair to say we've all been there? Probably not.
Well, it's fair to say most of the room has been there.
2 out of 3.
Yeah.
I've brought chicks home from the bar.
Well,
You got in a roadie?
No, not that though.
Okay. It can be distracting.
it doesn't have to be a chickie.
It's
I mean,
sort
I've
of
never
if
gotten it from a guy.
I mean, you can get roadhead from
I know.
virtually
I agree,
anyone.
but I haven't.
we've talked about driving drunk and how it sort of becomes an art after a while.
Yeah.
And we're not proud of that, but we did our share of bad things when we were young. Won't do it now, but back in the day, yes.
Right.
And you sort of, you learn to look through that haze, and
Yeah.
it's the same thing, isn't it?
Yeah.
A little bit. I mean, kind of like,
You and I have
slow down. Oh shit! I'll turn right. Holy shit!
you and I think both have extreme stories
Yes.
that we're not proud of. Not proud of.
More than just a roadie, right?
Yes. Cooking down
Yeah.
696.
Southfield Freeway for
Yeah,
me.
696 headed towards Novi with
No,
Sounds like
it
you are
works. Just trying to look over the shoulder.
just trying to look over.
It's not easy.
And then just hearing her, horns just wailing.
Yeah,
There's
Yeah.
a blinker on. The wipers are just going all
Yeah.
willy nilly.
that's it too, dude. Trying to keep all that shit under control. Yeah.
Again, we're not proud of that at all.
No.
That's not a funny story, folks. That's not to be made light of at all.
What are you laughing at then?
Well, you know,
It's in my past. I'll never do it again.
yeah, of course. I'm glad I've checked it off the list, though. I got it. So anyway, this chick's blowing him, and he claims, "Oh my God, I thought I took out a stop sign."
Mm.
You know, which means he just said that because he wanted the Beeger to finish. He's like, "No, it was just a stop sign."
That shit can be blinding, man. Let's be honest.
Yeah.
You know, it kind of goes back to what I was saying. You're kind of like looking through the fog at that point, and just kind of your mind is elsewhere.
Yeah.
To an extent, I think he's got a bit of a defense here.
Well, it's either one of those kind of like Vacation, where Chevy Chase and the family, they show him each in the car falling asleep, and then they get to Chevy and he's completely passed out behind the wheel.
Right.
Where this guy's just like in the moment, and all of a sudden he's just like, oh yeah, fading, kicking the head back just for a minute while he's enjoying the moment, and then boom,
Yeah.
you know, he's launching his old buddy there, Terry Ross, off the bicycle.
Dude, you know how a sneeze can throw you out of control?
Yes.
I would almost start. I would be like, I came right then. That's right when I came. That's what you have to do, right?
Right.
I blew right then, and I veered. I admittedly veered.
You need a male jury to make that work. But if you got a jury of male peers, every one of them go, wow, yeah.
Little fist pumping.
Yeah.
Who couldn't relate to that? I think, why not?
Throw it at the wall, see if it sticks, man.
But what do you do if the chick goes, no, he didn't?
Well, you got to get her on board. This assumes that
teamwork.
Let's assume that she'll be on board, that she either will remember it that way or won't.
And you can
tell
threaten
a contrary
her
story
and say either, yes, we both knew that we hit that guy. She's just as guilty as me.
Or I came right then.
Or I came right then. You swallowed it. It was awesome. It was a lot too. Tell him it was a lot.
High in protein.
I lasted a long time and it was a lot. Let's just get the facts straight. But for that story, I'll make sure to let him know that you were absolutely buried as far down as you could go. Cause it's, you could only get about halfway down and all, let's be honest with me. So, but you had no idea. I said it was the stop sign and then we moved on. Mm-hmm. So you thought I clipped the stop sign, not Larry.
It's your only defense, man.
Like, this can work.
Because again, I hearken back to the sneeze. We've all been there where you're like, fuck, you sneeze and you kind of veer a little bit, or you definitely like you're forced to close your eyes during a sneeze.
Yeah. You are forced to close your eyes, aren't you? You can't.
Yeah. So you liken it to that, like this bodily function that like puts you out of control for just a moment, a split moment.
Yeah.
And unfortunately for Mr. Bike Rider, unfortunately for Mr. Ross, I came right before I came upon him.
Yeah. Right. You didn't come upon him. You came upon her, but you. Yeah.
So remember, if you're a young, attractive female teacher who's eager to brighten her students' future, or if you've been injured at the Fady Manor and are looking to cash in, call Helm Law at 248-679-8804 or go online at helmlawpc.com to set up your free consultation. Tell them you support the Detroit Cast. You'll receive 15% off.
Should we take a quick time out?
Yes.
Regroup a little bit and then come back, and we got a lot to do. We'll talk about this chick who unfortunately is no longer with us. She suffocated during sex.
Oh no.
Yeah, it happens. That and much more next.
The Detroit Cast continues after this short break.
Hey, it's me, one of the football gods. I decide if the ball bounces your team's way or not. And there's no better place to watch me work than Twin Peaks. That place is football heaven, and I should know. I'm a god. The beer selection at Twin Peaks is divine, pun intended. Tons of choices, including local craft selections served at an icy 29 degrees. Throw in HD action in every direction, and you've got pigskin paradise. So spend this season at Twin Peaks. I command it.
Hey there, it's Steve Gabarra, the general manager at Zod Ford and Holly. The holidays have arrived, and in addition to our favorite jolly fat man paying us all a visit, Zot Ford is offering our once-a-year holiday bonus cash. Believe it or not, December is the #1 month for buying or leasing a new car. Truly the best deals of the entire year. For example, right now, lease the all-new 2015 Ford Edge SE for $274 a month, sign and go. In other words, zero cash due at signing. Simply sign your name and ride. Hurry down to Zot Ford at I-75 and exit 98 to take advantage of our once-a-year holiday bonus cash and get your 2015 Edge for just $274 a month, sign and go. Check out our tantalizing deals and massive inventory at zotford.com.
The Detroit Cast continues now, bitches. Here's Mike and Jay.
Welcome back to the Detroit Cast on a Tuesday with Mike and Jay. Big E, of course, is here. McCard's gone. I'm too late for him.
Yeah.
His
I don't
girl.
blame him.
Past his bedtime.
Yeah, not a blame
at all.
him either. We got a late start. We were trying to make some phone calls before the show, and
Sometimes they go places, sometimes they just don't.
we're trying something special.
It still could come about, but
Yeah.
not tonight.
It will, but yeah, it failed. We got halfway there.
Yeah.
I'll say that with somebody special.
Hey, spend the season at Twin Peaks, football's largest luxury suite. You'll find the best kitchen in sports that's making everything from scratch and a beer selection ranging from local crafts to their famous 29-degree drafts. Throw in HD action in every direction, and Twin Peaks is pigskin paradise.
See, they're talking about the United States' first penis transplant will be performed for a veteran
Amazing.
returning from Afghanistan who suffered damage. I would hope that he suffered damage if you're doing this repair job on it to his noose. You imagine that? Think about the damage that an IED would do.
Yeah, you don't think about the
You
panoose just
don't.
hanging there.
Yeah.
You know, you always see damage to legs and all this stuff. You
Yeah.
never think about the panoose getting chipped off.
Yeah. I mean, it's right there. It makes sense. Poor son of a bitch is hanging right in the way. I don't know what you do. Seems like you'd wear something.
Wear a cup,
Yeah, like some sort of cup,
a
something.
cod piece.
Yeah. Anyway,
Why would
surgeons
you,
at
you're gonna walk around with a cup or shit?
well, you
I
never
don't know.
know.
Does some of that body armor have cod pieces?
I don't know, maybe.
Maybe.
It's possible.
Yeah. I'm sure some of the bomb tech guys, obviously,
Yeah,
those dudes are wearing.
but just the
Really
the
special
ranging
suits.
around guys, probably not.
Yeah, I wouldn't think so. Surgeons at Johns Hopkins in Maryland say that within the next several months they will take an organ from a deceased donor and give it to the soldier.
God,
Yeah, it seems
It's
like one
weird.
that would be tough, man. I mean, like,
looking down there and seeing different noose.
yeah.
Ah,
I mean, I suppose a used noose is better than no noose, but that would be really tough.
yeah,
Like,
where's that thing been?
yeah, what do you think? Like, if you've lived your life with, like,
Sure.
I mean,
Sure.
you're really happy with your noose, and then all of a sudden,
Well, you could request something. Can't you put in a request?
I don't think they take color options, or I think it's just kind of
First one available is getting put on.
yeah. And if you died, like, would you care if someone took yours?
I don't think so. Yeah, maybe I would. I don't know. That's
Do you want to be
weird.
buried without your noose?
I want to be cremated. I don't care about
So do
Well, then
I.
take the noose.
take the noose before they burn me up.
Yeah.
Why not?
Hmm.
Let someone else use the king's penis for a while.
I don't
a
think
while.
anyone would want mine. I mean, just being honest, like,
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, who would want it?
Sounds like there's issues there.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, has a hard time getting it up.
Right.
It
As
can't-
you pointed out yesterday, there's an awful lot of
Well, and by the way,
reference to-
another reference so that people wouldn't want it. So there's a problem.
Well, I hardly want it. I can't imagine some badass soldier would
yeah,
want
you
it.
hardly want it because you can't get it up and you can't
No,
ejaculate.
it's just, I don't know. I mean,
nothing to write home about.
yeah, it's just, it's there. I mean, Ease is nothing to write home about either. I saw his when he was whizzing in the bottles.
Oh,
so
shit,
he's,
I forgot about that.
yeah, he's got nothing to brag about either. Remember when you were doing your thumb
Tugged-
trick?
It's been tugged on a lot.
The thumb
Think
trick.
about your thumb
Got
trick.
it.
Show him, E, real quick.
I'm not going to show him my dick.
All right.
That's a good not gonna.
So yeah, the world's first successful noose transplant was completed last year in South Africa. We did that story. You'll remember
remember
it.
that.
21-year-old
remember,
man.
no.
Could you
won't.
put this in?
Yeah, I
The
suppose
Costa
you
Rican
could.
bottle opener, the Machichi wood.
This guy's dong was amputated after a botched circumcision. Circumcision went south, and
I do
no more noose.
I do remember that now.
And he was
The
expected
doctor sneezed.
exactly
Hmm.
and cut the damn thing off. It was expected that it would be a 2-year recovery. Remember? And then that summer, he knocked his girl up.
Dude.
So it worked. The new surgery is first being offered to soldiers who meet certain qualifications, such as having an intact urethra. Doctors will then connect nerves, veins, and arteries.
This sounds like the head transplants.
Yeah, well, I think it sounds better than the head transplants, where you got a magic glue and a sharp blade to cut the head off, that you have to do it really fast to cut the head off and put the new one on.
Yeah,
well, the dick transplant, it's like, I'll bet mechanically it's not that hard to, hook up the seminal vesicle and the urethra and so forth.
Yeah.
But to make it operational,
right,
and make it anything close to what it was before, that would be the biggest issue.
Yeah,
right?
That's the whole point of connecting nerves and veins and arteries, that you would. They said they're expected to grow the nerves from the soldier, then expected to grow into the penis at a rate of about 1 inch per month.
Oh, it's not bad.
So good 3 or 4 months down the road and you're good, right? Eventually enabling sexual function. Penis doctors, donors' families are asked specifically whether, do you mind if we take the noose of the dead guy?
Right.
Boy, what a weird conversation that would be.
Well, I know
time is of the essence,
here,
right?
Tough times, but
talk about one of those statements like, "Oh, this is the toughest part of my job."
Or, will you be an organ donor? Yes, we will. Well, all the organs?
Yeah.
And by all, I mean, including the penis.
Don't you think you just bury that in the
small type?
The disclaimer. Yeah, you try to buzz through that really quick.
Yeah, maybe.
I think that's the route you take. So South African urologist Andre van der Meer said that one of the hardest parts of the process was finding a donor. He ultimately made a fake penis out of skin. He fashioned one for the dead guy so that he could be buried with a noose. So he took his noose and then he made him a fake one to be buried with.
What?
I know, it's a complicated issue.
At the burial, when they're in the when they're at the funeral, or the people, like, they're dressed up. Who gives a shit? Who's taking the pants
who's
off?
getting hung up on that, man?
I know we're not going to see
it. Do you guys
but
really care, like, what the hell happens to your body afterward?
No. I told you could just dump it off a bridge.
Yeah, I think it's kind of odd to think about maybe my penis being reused, but that's just because I'm being, hit with this out of the blue.
Yeah.
But otherwise,
but as far as just say it wasn't there, would you care? Why?
No. I don't have this need for my body to be completely intact and buried.
I agreed. I'm trying to. Part of me is thinking, like, if I was a soldier, which I know that laughable, but if I was, and the unthinkable happened, and then I woke up and I all of a sudden the roll of the dice happened and I got the king's penis, like that. I mean, like last thing I remember was, and then,
God. Dude, talk about bringing new life to somebody,
Yeah.
Just think how awful
that'd be the best thing ever.
Gift a man could give.
Right.
Yeah. The gift that keeps on giving, Clark, all year round.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, it'd be a tough one. Well, good for them. I hope that works.
To the astronomy file, I think we need to hear about whether
it's successful. It's a few months away.
Yeah.
We got a woman who suffocated during sex, and no, this is not in the hot tub. Remember our hot tub one?
Absolutely, down in Mexico for the
wedding.
Yeah,
what happened to that wedding?
The daughter walked in
the
and
bride,
ready for her big day.
Remember the mom just kind of pulled her suit to the side.
Well,
it was speculated by some of the members of the show. I would certainly want to hope that that's how it happened. I really want to hope they weren't nude. I want to hope for the pulled to the side, topless.
Dude, I think we declared that wedding could not go on. That's not something you can just put on hold and say, well, we'll readdress this wedding.
Boy, I don't remember where we fell. We were all over the board on that.
I think that we decided in the end that wedding has to be canceled.
I think your whole rest of your life, honestly. Wait a minute.
You can't get married.
For the check.
You can't get married.
I think the guy, who gives a fuck? He can always just go on and just say, yeah, I've never been married.
No. It depends whose parents they are. Like whoever's parents
that's what I meant.
That happened to. But I mean, if it was the guy's parents.
But it wasn't.
Yeah, think about that. You could totally get married if it was the guy's parents.
The guy wouldn't even give a fuck,
that's true. Yeah.
Guy would just still do the wedding that weekend.
Yeah, he would. I would.
Yeah, this sucks, but
if Bill drowned Cheryl in a hot tub and you and Gab were like that day about to get married,
I think I would.
Yeah, I think you would too.
Especially it was a destination wedding. Everyone's already down there. You're not going to re-get them again. Get to have them drive somewhere out or fly somewhere out again.
Why is that? Why is that a guy Because I think you're
Why
right.
is that? Why?
Yeah. I think you guys are right.
Because there's
that
something about that dad giving away the bride, and
yeah.
just the
daughter's
connection
a-
between the daughter and the parents. More so in a wedding environment.
Well, the wedding's
certainly
about
than
the
a groom.
bride, for one. It's not about the husband or the groom,
Right.
for the most part.
Yeah.
Yeah, I
Well-
don't think that chick. I think of the rest of her life, by the way. Even if she dumps that guy, there'll always be this thing that she was literally about to get married to another dude. Why did it fail? Well,
Yeah.
my dad was giving it to my mom in the hot tub, and I saw him, and I just kind of tarnished my feeling of that dude and the whole situation.
If you weren't familiar with the story, he had a heart attack while just putting it to her. I mean, he was giving her a good what for in the hot
A
tub.
larger fellow.
What for?
He was a larger fellow, and
Yeah.
he fell on top of her.
He had a heart attack, fell on top of her, and drowned her.
Yeah.
And
so we went through all the possible scenarios. Are they doing it doggy style? He pins her against the wall, and it's a kind of
Asphyxia-
strangulation against the edge of the pool. Is he, are they going missionary and she's underwater holding her breath?
No, that's not what.
And then he falls
He's
on top
totally
of her.
banging her doggy style.
Doggy.
Head effect falls on top of her. She falls.
Right, because if
in.
she's just riding him
why would
Yeah.
she be able
she'd
to?
just get up.
Yeah. Well, he fell on top of
I
her.
cannot believe this happened. I can't believe it. What do you say to the guests at this wedding? I know this is like we talked about this a week ago or something,
Yeah.
but how
It's a
does that
tough
get
one.
addressed
It's-
at the wedding? Like, do people start showing up for the
Because it's very understandable to go, he had a heart attack. He was in the hot tub. The heat was a bit too much for him. It
People are
overtook
like,
him.
oh,
and then they're like, well, okay, but why the wife?
Yeah.
Why? Well,
Well.
well,
he was
Sit
putting
down,
it to her,
Nancy.
but good.
I don't know why that phrase has always got me, but good.
Yeah, that would be. You would think that there wouldn't be a formal announcement to the people gathered
Just
for the
be
wedding.
communicated in whispers.
It'd be in whispers. Yeah, it would. And that would be very, very hard to keep a straight face during.
Right, because it's such shocking news, and it's news that changes everything. So
The entire
everybody
week
needs to be delivered this news.
Yeah, you're
So
all
they
there.
need to learn the whole story.
Right.
They can't be told some watered down version of it.
And like
Yeah.
you said, we said this when we talked about the story, being a destination wedding, and it was like, what was it, Costa Rica? It
It's
wasn't Costa
Mexico.
Rica, Mexico. So
Yeah.
everyone's there. You're pretty well with the family. Like no one just straight in. You're pretty tight with this
Yeah.
family. So you're right. They have to. You're down there for a wedding. You can't just say, "Oh, crazy."
The whole story needs to be told.
Yeah, it does.
And so
How the
then
situation-
everybody in their mind is going, well, how did she? Wow, she must have been doggy and pinned against the wall.
Mhm.
You're right.
And,
Behind closed
and making the
doors.
story even worse, it wasn't like security came in and found her. No, the bride
Mom, I'm
to
ready to
be
get my makeup for
stumbled
tomorrow.
in and found
Found
the
her-
wet
Her
clothes.
whale of a dad just strewn
Bloated.
over.
It's a horrifying story. It really is.
Her mom's one piece just slid to the side, one titty, one arm out of
Right,
it.
right.
Yeah.
Oh,
Ooh, yeah. That's
What do you
that's
do when you
grim.
walk in?
it's grim.
yeah. It's a bummer of a story. They were praying too, and I know there's not much that could make that story better. You could go, well, at least that.
Mm.
There was initial rumblings like, well, there might have been some short circuiting with the hot tub that,
Oh,
and they were
nice little
electrocuted.
lawsuit.
like a no, but
Just
that
another explanation for.
yeah, instead of your dad was just putting it to your mom and then drown her. Like if it could have been like a toaster in a bathtub where you're like, there was a short
You're
in the
both
hot
in
tub.
the hot tub.
They were
right.
in the hot tub. They were electrocuted, and it fried their clothes off.
But
and
that's not what happened.
it ended up they floated around until the dad inserted himself and mom, and then they just died there. But no, that's not how it went. They quickly determined that the hot tub was in sound working order.
I would love to have been in the rooms of all the other like couples that were down there. Like you said, Jay, like straight face, like you might have been able to hold together, but the minute you're back in your room, aren't you just like, dude, what happened?
Yes.
Like you and Gab are at this wedding. This happens. You telling me the minute you get back to your room to kind of like,
Yeah, you're
oh,
kind of biting your. Oh my, Charles. Oh,
hey Gab, maybe I think I left something in the room. Why don't we go? You need some help in the room.
holy shit!
What if everyone was on the same?
Oh shit!
What if everyone was on the same floor and everyone just
every
keeps
room
back
you just hear muffled.
no
way! Fuck no! No way that didn't happen. Yeah.
So we still get the all-inclusive weekend, right?
So anyway, back to this.
What was this? Oh, the penile implants.
No, we're past the penile implants.
Okay.
We're on to a sex game that went Ari.
Got it.
And we got this married 49-year-old who starts banging his neighbor.
Nice.
Which happens.
Mm-hmm.
And was discovered on a she's discovered on a bed the next day, next to a sex toy, naked from the waist down. Experts analyzed DNA recovered from the scene, and that's when they linked this father of two, who was the neighbor, to this situation.
God, do people I just never until we did this realized how many people die in situations. I don't know why. I think I always just, for the most part, you die in the hospital or you whatever. How many stories?
A lot. She died from asphyxia, believed to have happened during a sex game. The man was released on bail after appearing in court, with the widow's death being classified as just a tragic accident. She was lying in bed naked with a vibrator, said a neighbor who found her body. So a neighbor found her. By the way, she was 91.
Oh!
What? Did I forget to mention that part?
You're not a hamburger. What? How old was this kid banging her?
Yeah, he was 49. He was banging the 91-year-old pensioner next door.
And it was like crazy fucking sex,
yeah.
42 years his senior.
Yes. Now, in fairness, at 91, there's a good chance she was going to expire that day anyways.
Yeah.
Right?
You're not a hamburger. She probably went out a good way. I mean, really.
Well, yeah, she did. She went out with a bang, as they say, right, E?
Right.
Picture that laying there pantless
How
with a
much
vibrator.
The mess. Oh, the mess.
It was asphyxia. It was a sex game.
A sex game.
She's yelling, rutabaga, and he's just ignoring it.
Yeah.
He's almost finishing. He's almost done. He's almost finished. He doesn't want to. What if that was your grandma?
There was blood on the sheets.
How old's Nana?
Right in that
We're
range.
right there, right? So she's got the lightning bolt pubes and everything.
Yeah. If I found out, that would be.
That some 49-year-old stud from next door was coming over.
I don't know if I would even care. You know, I'm a bad person to ask because I just don't give a shit, I guess. But
yeah, that's true. You are a bad person.
You wouldn't care if some neighbor dude was coming over banging Nana?
As long as it was consensual. I guess
slapping her 01 tattoo.
As long as it was consensual.
Having that one just flab up and down, just waving.
That's what Nana wanted, I guess. I don't know.
But you know Nana's not in any position to like consent to that.
Yeah, not my Nana. So yeah, if it was mine, I would know that this dude was raping my grandma. But I mean,
yeah.
but based on this story though, it sounds like she's living in her own house.
Jay's beside himself. I wish you could see Jay's face right now. He's absolutely beside himself.
That phrase, this dude was raping my grandma. Like, I don't know why that struck me.
I know that he was raping my grandma. It did. There was a bit of a sting to that statement.
Yeah,
I got to be honest with you. Another neighbor said the man would often go over to her house and help the 91-year-old work around the house.
Sure.
Oh yeah,
he was just a helpful
How
guy.
does that go,
Counting
man?
some nails
Like, it probably did, right? He's just helping her out, like carry groceries in or something.
He's like, can you put this on the top shelf?
Yeah, and then like, what the hell? How's that happen?
She had to have come. If it's consensual, I bet she came onto him. But even then, why?
1 years old, like
still,
how crusty and just dried out and
you'd have to
pickled
be
you are at that
really
point.
hard. Dude, I wouldn't right now.
Pickle.
You'd have to be really hard up, man, sexually.
Yeah, there's a whole senior circuit out there of just like hooers that are in their 80s and 90s that are just getting it on.
Yeah, but usually it's
Beth and I were watching some special recently. I can't remember the name of it.
Grew up in the roaring 20s.
Yeah, exactly. And these bitches are just like living in senior homes, and they're going out with guys in their 20s, like dudes in their 20s, and it's not about the money, but these guys will pick these chicks up, and they're hitting the town, and it's so creepy to see because they're trying to make it look romantic.
Yeah.
And this one chick was like a whore. She had like multiple dudes in their 20s. And it was like, tonight I'm with Big E. What? And they're on dates and they're trying to
How old is she? She's in her 90s.
Maybe she's like 80 something, 90.
You're not a hamburger.
But they'd be like sitting down at a cafe,
No
like
touching
feeding
hands.
each other fries
Oh,
and
come on.
wiping whipped cream on her cheek. I mean, it was just like
Oh.
creepy weird. Oh, it was so gross. It was hard to watch. I can't remember the name of it. It was on one of those weirdo channels, like I don't know, whatever it was. But I'll have to ask Beth. But yeah,
Gross.
I guess not into the senior citizen scene.
yeah,
All right.
it'd be a tough one. And then we got a married math teacher, Virginia math teacher.
Toy alert.
Not yet.
No.
No. He's been arrested for stealing women's shoes and then returning the footwear with bodily fluids inside.
Oh, did he urinate in them?
Spit in them,
Oh,
I
he
think.
spit in them? Yeah, probably.
Yeah, we'll have to read more of the story, but I'm pretty sure he probably just spit in
Maybe
them.
blood or something. Maybe cut his finger.
Yeah. Kenneth Johnson III. He turned himself into police on Saturday. He was charged with 8 counts of intentional damaging of property and 3 counts of petty larceny. He's employed as a math teacher at Verena High School. Imagine if that was your math teacher. Think about math teacher.
You know, you read this shit and it's like, am I just like completely boring sexually? Like, I don't get the whole shoe thing.
Nah.
You can't answer that question.
No, I can't.
The shoe thing, the old lady thing,
Dude.
the like super fat chick thing. I mean, there's some weird shit out there to me.
I think that weird shit was always going on. We're just
Yeah.
seeing it now.
Yeah.
We're just
Well, that's true.
The
But
world's been opened up now.
No, that's not my point though.
But his
am
point
I-
is that
am I
it's
just
yeah.
No, that because that shit's equally weird to me. I don't have as much of a problem. Like I don't mind some of the creepy shit that you tend to mind, but stuff like I've never understood the foot thing. Like I've never gotten
I'm
off
not
on the like,
repulsed by feet, but I don't understand. Like,
but you wouldn't like bang a foot, right? Like that's not like a thing for
Right,
you, right?
correct.
It's not a thing for me. Like jack off on feet.
right?
Like that just wouldn't.
Well, to me, honestly, any of those things where these guys get off on like you said, like they do something and then they want, let me jack off on your, your ankle or your like, like where that's the finishing thing, and it's like, but they're
In your
almost,
shoe.
but they're almost more excited by doing it on the ankle than they are even.
Yeah, I don't know.
God, that'd be weird to be wired that way, where that's your thing.
Yeah,
Shoes.
yeah.
That's like that dude at the. Yeah. Wow.
He's being investigated. This guy from Verena High School in Virginia. He's being investigated in connection to a string of bizarre incidents involving the theft of these women's shoes. Police began getting reports in September from women whose footwear had been swiped from their porches overnight. The missing shoes were returned to their
porches.
Yeah, who are these people that are leaving? I guess that's not that weird.
It's not that weird that you leave shoes out, but I guess that multiple people in an area would like this would be a chronic thing.
Yeah, where people are all leaving their
Yeah.
shoes out.
Who are you reporting this to? Unless it's that one teacher said something like my shoes got stolen last night, and then I guess a few other like, yeah, me too.
Yeah.
Well, you would have to catch it quick, right? Like if some guy steals your shoes from the porch, takes them for a couple days, comes in them, and then returns them, right? Like someone got cum-footed.
Oh yeah.
Because you would have, the only way you would know,
Yeah, that shit would dry.
it would dry in
soak
24 hours, in like a few hours that would dry up, soak in.
Yeah.
So
Oh.
someone would have to put their foot in the shoe. I mean, unless he's filling it with it. Maybe that's why he's taking it for 3 or 4 days, is because he's just,
What do you think?
I don't know.
because that's the only thing that would make sense. Like if you put like,
Yeah, if your shoes just back and you're like, oh, there's my shoes.
yeah, wow,
that
that's
would
weird.
be your conclusion if, like you said, it was left for 5-6 hours.
Dude,
Yeah.
I
any
do think
blow would just soak in and dry up.
I do think it's weird. I don't think it's weird necessarily that 1 or 2 people might have shoes on it, but I think it's weird that this amount of people would keep their shoes on their porch.
Yeah.
I don't know. Maybe
That's-
not.
That's not what's weird about this story to me.
That's not what I have a problem with.
It's weird to me.
So they were returned in a few days. In all, 4 incidents have been reported over the past 3.5 months, but investigators suspect there are more victims out there, and they're encouraging people
More
to come
victims.
forward. Yeah.
I did remember a few months ago my shoes got stolen. I didn't think nothing of it.
One victim confronted the suspected shoe thief when she caught him leaving her porch with her shoes in his hands. The woman recalled Johnson sniffed the running shoes in front of her and told her he just loved the smell of them before fleeing on foot.
Go on now, get Johnson. Go on now. Come on.
How many times I
Go on, Johnson.
Shoes? I told you stay away from my shoes.
He's been warned repeatedly.
Fucking
get out of my shoes.
Deviants.
Another victim revealed that she found a note in her shoe saying the thief was a married man, but his wife's shoes did not have the smell, and he liked performing perverted activity in the shoes and then returning them.
See, part of it is like getting that rise out of the person.
Yeah.
Freaking them out. Yeah, I love your shoes. I love
Yeah,
your shoes.
it has to be, right? Because why else would you leave a note letting him know? Yeah, you're right. It must be something about the anxiety and the freak out nature.
Oh my God, how repulsive.
He blew a load in my shoe.
Yeah.
A YouTube channel associated with Ken Johnson includes more than half dozen videos depicting shoes and women's feet. He's been placed on leave by the schools. Think about your math teacher.
Yeah, dude.
In high school, right? I
won't say the name.
You thinking of
no, I'm not thinking of the one you are.
Okay.
You know what? I won't even go here because you're gonna.
No, I won't say anything.
Someone else.
No, I won't. No, I won't.
No, I'm like picturing this guy as that shoe sniffer, shoe blower.
Yeah.
And yeah, I could see it.
Yeah. I thought I saw a picture of the shoe sniffer. I think he was black.
Really?
Which freaked me out.
That's a white guy.
Totally, right?
That...
I could be. See if you can look him up, E, because I don't want to give credit to a black guy if it's a white guy, because that screams white guy crime to me.
Absolutely.
I hope. I mean, it seems like middle-aged, fat.
Oh yeah, yes.
Right, mustachioed maybe.
That's not how I was picturing him, but yeah, just a dumpy ass, 52-year-old dude, right? I came in your shoes. I'm a school teacher. I want you to know my wife's shoe doesn't smell as good as yours.
I love jacking off in your running shoes.
You're right.
I took your shoes because they smell better.
They stink more. Your shoes stinks so good.
You're right. It's a
black dude,
African American.
Wow. So it's damn, man.
Damn.
And not only is it, but it looks like kind of a
badass.
It doesn't look like a person.
No,
you usually do feel like you can point a person who might do something like that.
Of all guys coming in my shoes, he's the guy I would want least doing it.
Be a lot of cum,
probably. Damn, bitch. Yeah.
Your shoe stinks and shit.
Shit. I'll be coming in these shoes in 5 seconds.
I don't know why, but this is...
As soon as I get off this porch, I'm going to bust a nut in your damn shoes. Let me just get this last nut off real quick.
Look at one of the screenshots of the thing. The shoes are just sitting on the porch.
Yeah, just sitting there.
Go back. Let me see the bitch there. Yeah, this is my bitch whose shoes don't stink as good as your shoes. That's why I'll be coming in yours. Can't wait to start coming in your shoes.
Him and his woman, huh?
Apparently she has nice feet, I guess. Or not.
Shit. Damn, is that a porch over there with a pair of fucking kids on them? I'm be coming in that shit in 2 minutes. Damn, girl. Oh, man, I mistakenly grabbed the dude's shoes from the porch. I came in a guy's shoes on accident. Got little girl feet and shit. Accidentally came in his shoes. Shit.
Dude would probably come in your shoes, those purple ass.
I was actually going to say these shoes on the porch kind of looked like my purple Asics that I had. But
hey, do you want to sell your home with a competitive edge?
Sure.
Give potential buyers a huge incentive and sell your home with a new car in the garage.
I'm going to leave my shoes on the porch, too, when I sell this crib. You'll be filled with cum in them shoes.
Right.
Shit.
Right now, when you list your home with Chris Stajelski, her and Zot Ford will arrange for the buyer of your home to have a brand new Ford sitting in their new garage on closing day.
How about you keep the Ford? You just leave your shoes in my driveway. Let me come in them shoes, Miss Jelski. I've been coming in your shoes and shit.
Check out Krista's website at KristaSellsHouses.com or call her anytime at 586-918-0900 for more details. Have we mentioned how great a realtor Krista Jelski is? I feel
very
like,
professional.
I feel like she lets us have fun with her reads, but she's a pro, man.
Yeah. No, there's no doubt about it. I love that about her, that she lets us talk about coming in her shoes and shit.
Hey, close and I'll let you come in my shoes.
Our sponsor lets us talk about coming in her shoes.
And call. I mean, we. Well, to be fair, we don't know that she lets it. This is the first time we've done it, and I guess she.
No, she'll be fine.
Oh no, I know
she'll
she
roll
will
with
be.
it.
Oh, I know she will.
Can you pull up this video? The Fox News. I think McCard before he took off.
Hey, while you're doing that, Christmas is here, and so is Zot Ford's holiday bonus cash. No one cares if you've been naughty or nice, because if you're a TDC listener, you can lease the all-new 2015 Ford F-150 Super Cab XLT 4x4 for just $269 per month, with only $269 due at signing. Get a $44,000 F-150 for just $269 per month for 24 months. Check out their jolly deals and massive inventory at zotford.com.
Yesterday, we were talking about the president. You can't even look at me. It wasn't me, dude.
It was this guy and shit. That guy did. That guy came in Jusky's shoes. Shit.
The threat from terrorism is real.
Oh, E.
Oh, it is. I know that. So yesterday we were talking about the president's speech, and that got all people against Obama all worked up, all fired up. We were all pissed off, and
right, it was easy to criticize. There was a lot of ammunition there.
Yeah,
we just like watched it with one eye, and so I'm sure all the pundits picked it apart and went crazy today.
And they did. You're exactly right. And Fox News has issued a couple 2-week suspensions to a couple people.
Even
yes.
Fox News.
Yes. On-air contributors. I don't watch Fox News, to be honest with you. Very rarely do I watch it.
It's on cable, and I don't have cable.
Yeah, so. I've heard that. But I don't know if you're familiar with Lieutenant Colonel Ralph Peters.
Might know him if I saw him.
Him and Stacey Dash each used expletives in critiquing Barack Obama's Sunday night speech from the Oval Office. Appearing Monday on, it was the Fox Business Network, Peters was discussing the American public's fervor for action to be taken against ISIS when he said of Obama, well, we can watch it. You got it there, E?
Maybe.
Oh, shit.
We didn't pull up the right one, so this looks like it's.
Oh, E.
I could play.
Play it. I don't know.
What your hero McCard brought up, which was Obama talking for 4 minutes to 5 minutes.
Bring in Lieutenant Colonel Ralph Peters. Right, Ralph, I have a question for you. I know you watched last night. I want to know, what were you saying to the TV as the president was speaking? What was your commentary as the president's speech unfolded?
Well, first of all, he keeps speaking about we can't give in to our fears. Don't be afraid. Look, Mr. President, we're not afraid. We're angry. We're pissed off. We're furious.
Yes.
We want you to react. We want you to do something. You're afraid. I mean, this guy is such a total pussy. It's stunning. And, we the people, the American people, whom he does not know in any intimate sort of manner. We want action. We want action against Islamic State. And then when the president's telling us, he is going to destroy ISIS.
Listen to the anchor be an anchor.
This
here.
is a president who has done more harm to American police departments than he has done to Islamic State. This is a president who restrains our military. He uses it not to defeat ISIS, but for political purposes, for political cover. This is a president who doesn't want to hurt our enemies. This is a president who cares more about thugs in Guantanamo or thugs in Ferguson, Missouri, than he does about law-abiding American citizens and their
Ralph,
right to live in safety and peace.
I can tell you are super angry, and I asked you what your reaction was, but I got to call you. You can't use language like that on the program, okay? I'm sorry.
Sorry.
Okay, accept that.
Just want to distance myself from that comment.
What'd you think?
Dude, he didn't even pause with kind of a holy fuck, what did I just say kind of thought.
Yeah. He called him a total pussy.
That was weird.
Yeah, wasn't that weird to hear?
Yeah.
I mean, I would expect that on our show.
Pissed off, no problem with that. But
yeah,
he's a total pussy. I didn't expect that.
But they didn't terminate him as far as being a contributor, on-air contributor to the Fox News family.
Timeout.
He got a timeout for 2 weeks. And then where's the other one? Stacey Dash. She was a guest. Meanwhile, on the Fox News is Outnumbered when she criticized what she saw as a lack of passion in his rare Oval Office speech, suggesting that he was in a hurry to say his piece and get to the Kennedy Center honors. I I haven't seen this one. I saw the other one.
Yeah, I don't know who this is. I'll probably know her if I see her again.
There she is.
Stacey Dash.
Jittery nation while staying the course. The president giving just his third Oval Office address last night, calling the shooting massacre in California a terrorist attack for the very first time from him, and laying out the 4-point strategy his administration is already employing to fight ISIS.
Thank you, Harris.
The strategy that we are using now, airstrikes, special forces, and working with local
Let's
forces,
get past
we're
this.
fighting to
40
regain
forces,
control
right?
of their
40,
own
50.
country. That is how.
So we're going to do any better.
Charles
And it's not just
Krauthammer,
his critics
genius.
either. A new CNN poll
We're
is
looking for the
finding
chickie,
most
Stacey
Americans
Dash.
before
describing the threats that
for
that climate U.S. poses to the world.
Oh, I've seen
because
it.
we own too many guns and we're bigots.
Yeah.
What does that tell you right there? He spent the bulk of the speech lecturing his own countrymen on their shortcomings. That's very revealing.
That has been part of the criticism today, Andrea, that the nation got lectured to like a
This is
professor.
her?
And in fact, some
I
of
guess.
the GOP
Yeah.
candidates, I
I don't
believe
think
Senator Ted
so.
Cruz among them, has been saying that today.
Yeah, but lectured to by a former constitutional law
kinda hot.
professor who fundamentally is trying to snub the U.S. Constitution. I mean, as Tucker points out, he completely wagged his finger at the First and the Second Amendment. We'll talk about that later in the show, about
Carlson.
gun
White
control,
guy.
trying to confiscate guns. But not only that, using his DOJ to prosecute anyone who
I think
speaks
she's wearing the
ill
pink
against Muslims.
in the middle.
He certainly ruined all the happiness from Eagles fans, though, that's for sure. But you know, the problem with too, Harris, is he had a more striking rebuke
There you go, E. Try
for
her.
climate change. Had a lot more passion.
Do something. Don't say anything offensive.
Right.
Wait, isn't she an actress?
And his speech was an epic fail. It was like when you have to go to a dinner with your parents, but you have a party to go to afterwards. That's what it felt like. He was just trying to get through it because he wanted to go to this event afterwards. You know, I did not feel better. I didn't feel any passion from him, like you said,
Yeah,
Andrea.
from Clueless,
I felt
right?
like he could give a, excuse me, like he could care less. He could care.
That got her
So
2
here
weeks
we have
suspension.
14 people dead. Today is the anniversary of Pearl Harbor. Okay? His speech should have had a lot more passion. Where is Winston Churchill when we need him? Is all I have to say. We are at
Is she
war.
black or white?
He should have said that. The fact that he said terrorism, we're all
mixed
excited that he
race,
said
yeah.
terrorism. Big deal. What is that going to do? Nothing.
You know, I think this is
Back it up. Let me hear it
That's
again.
it, huh?
She just goes.
Yeah,
where that
she got
back into the
3/4 of the word out.
Is all I
but-
have to say. We are at war. He should have said that. The fact that he said terrorism, he could care less.
So
this event afterwards.
There you go.
You know, I did not feel better. I didn't feel any passion from him, like you said, Andrea. I felt like he could give a, excuse me, like he could care less.
She got.
He could care.
He could
less.
give a.
And here we have 14 people.
That's a 2-week suspension. Really?
Maybe she's just a minor player who they.
She
easily-
must be.
But yeah, she's definitely an actress from Clueless, right?
Totally.
Can you look up? She looks like that
What's
chick.
Her, what's her actual name? I don't remember. Sorry.
Stacey Dash.
Stacey
Okay.
Dash. Yeah.
Yeah. She looks like her to me.
I would think they would say that she was just a an actress or something. She was a guest on Outnumbered. So anyway, after these appearances, the Fox News and Fox Business SVP, what's SVP?
Oh,
Vice President, something
SVP.
Vice President.
Definitely from Clueless.
Is she?
I wasn't even a question when I started seeing her talk and her voice that she was from Clueless. But
Wow, that's not even makes it
Senior
less
VP?
offensive. Senior VP, okay. That makes it even less offensive. Like the fact that, you know, if you're
That's
a
not
paid
her world?
contributor, yeah, that's not her world. So for someone like that to slip up a little bit, big deal. That happens all the
Well,
time.
maybe she's like a
She'd have a dump button.
Hasselbeck, though, where that was her world prior, and now this is what she does. I don't know. I don't
Yeah.
have cable, so I don't watch that station as much as I used to.
Right.
So maybe she's regularly on these shows.
She
I don't
must
know.
be. Obviously, if they're suspending her for 2 weeks, she wasn't just a one-off guest.
Yeah, she's a contributor.
Yeah, that.
on May 28th, 2014, Fox News announced that she was going to be hired as a contributor to the cultural analysts and commentary. So the point is, she's been hired.
She's hired.
Yeah,
Okay.
she's not just on there just this one time necessarily.
And Fox had to come out with their statement saying Fox contributors Stacey Dash and Ralph Peters made comments on different programs that were completely inappropriate.
Ralph Peters, man, I'll give him that. That was
Yeah.
Ralph a bit over the line.
Well, I mean, if you're going to go down in a ball of flames for 2 weeks, if you're in a timeout, you might as well
Call
go
the
out
president a pussy.
a total pussy. Yeah, I mean, like no Not even like try to catch yourself or slow it down.
Yeah,
Just,
don't slow it down. Don't try to fix it. Just keep it rolling.
Usually in a situation like that, you would expect someone to go, I got to be honest, he seemed like a total pussy with it,
Yeah.
But for him, it was just like a total pussy. He was a total pussy and blah, blah, blah. But the guy let him finish the statement. Usually the best thing for a host to do there to look like he gives a shit, our shitty media, is to just go, whoa, let me stop you right there, Ralph. Be careful with, there might be children watching. Be careful with the language, Mr. Peters.
Wonder if Peters just uses that phrase so much that he doesn't even think of it as a piece of anatomy anymore.
Yeah, he doesn't know what he said wrong.
Yeah, it's just like, you're a pussy.
Yeah, maybe. I mean, he's a lieutenant colonel.
Right. Don't be a pussy.
So, as you said, 2-week timeout. And then before we get to some email, we got a guy who, 19-year-old man, has died after getting pulled into a wood chipper.
Why do we have to do I just recently got over the story almost 2 years ago of the wood chipper.
Yeah, what was his name? Hernandez.
I think you're right.
And we speculated. There's a lot of speculation there at the beginning, whether he had fed like a cow through it and he was on the lam. He was
gambling debts, if I remember correctly.
Yeah, getting out from under gambling debts, something like that. Trying to just hide his identity and be gone.
Be a good way to do it, maybe.
Well, this
You're
guy,
smithereenies, right? You're pretty much hamburger smithereenies.
Yeah.
Oh, that would suck, dude. Oh,
but it would take
especially
time,
if you
probably,
went
for them
feet
to
first.
No.
Oh, you have to go head first. You have to. You don't want to go hands first, head first.
Right.
You want to go head first.
Head.
Yeah.
That'd be a way to go if you just dove in head first.
Skull would just crush immediately and then be sent through those blades.
Oh no.
Yeah. So he was on his first day at work for a tree cutter company.
Nice.
In North Carolina. Mason Cox was trying to kick a log into the machine in someone's yard.
Oh,
Imagine
got
that.
him by his foot. Got him by the foot.
Yep. Got Cox by the foot.
Yeah, Cox was taken by the foot. Happened on Saturday about noon 40. Dude, think about this. This is the prime season for leaf raking, branches that have fallen, become dead and fallen down. So there's a lot of that going on. There's a lot of kids playing in neighborhoods. Imagine Mason Cox trying to kick through the wood chipper out in the front yard at noon, sending it through and gets a pant leg caught.
Now imagine how this works now. Okay, so you got the 1 foot. The 1 foot gets dragged in, pulled in, and chipped. You basically end up doing the splits. You do the splits. Probably part of your torso goes in before your second leg. You're probably just...
Are you trying to hold it up at that point, or are you trying to make it go fast?
I don't know.
You'd be feeling a lot of that. That's the problem.
I don't know, man.
That's like you'd be feeling a lot of that, wouldn't you?
Dude, let's get a wood chipper over here, and we'll just like put your...
No.
Just like we'll just put like your shirt, sweatshirt sleeve in, and we'll see if you can just like, all you got to do is just pull it back out.
How about this? A tie.
A tie.
You're
That's
always
a good
wanting
call.
to be normcore and wear ties and dumb shit.
I don't see me wanting to do that.
Have you ever seen the warnings on paper shredders? They always show ties. Like, don't get your tie.
Would that kill you?
I could see it maybe choking you out.
I think
on
you
some
could...
of those industrial paper shredders.
Yeah.
Like at the firm, we had a mammoth paper shredder.
Oh, doing a lot of shredding, huh?
Yeah,
Shredding
actually.
important business documents.
Yeah. But yeah, you could see how that could just pull you down there and I guess choke you out.
Oh, that would suck. So he gets caught. He was found inside the wood chipper. How would he be found inside the wood chipper? Do you think it stopped after he got halfway through?
Yeah.
Oh, no.
I do.
Oh, no.
I do. Now that you read that phrase, I do.
There's a chance you would.
So I think he did the splits. I think I've described it correctly, right? You've got the one leg, and you're not going to like volunteer your other leg. You're going to do everything you can to drag and try to stop it.
Dude.
So your one leg goes, you end up your torso and right arm probably go in, and so it probably ends up at your neck.
Yeah. I keep thinking of, we've seen ISIS's worst. We've seen these it's like, oh, they're chucking bodies off roofs of gay guys now. Wow. They're beheading,
the way you said that, off roofs of gay guys.
Yeah, they're taking
chucking
gay guys
off roofs.
Right.
They're not gay guys' homes.
Ha!
I was confused.
I think
for a
I was melding two sentences there, but you knew where I was going. You knew what the story was.
I wasn't so sure.
You
I thought
knew what
maybe
the story
had changed.
You did not.
I thought maybe they were like, all right, we'll forgive you, gay guys, if we can use your roofs to chuck other people off of.
No, because they want the highest building, unless the gay guys have the highest buildings in town.
Probably live in the penthouse.
Maybe. And if they do, then you would chuck it off the roofs of the gay guys. And then we saw the guys in cages, and they'd have a little trail of fire.
Yeah. So maybe this is next.
I've swear to God, I've been thinking, like, what do you do for an encore to just taking someone in a cage and dipping them in a pool
Put a
until they
shark in the
drown?
pool?
Yeah. Like, you're going for shock value. The propaganda video is for shock. Industrial wood chippers?
Yeah. That's the next step.
I mean, what else do you get? Where do you get? You can only shoot someone so many evil ways. There's only so many ways you can drag a body through town.
Jay already came up with one time the next step, and that was going to be cutting panooses off and shoving them in their mouths.
Yep.
I think that
hasn't
done
happened
that
yet.
I think it
Really?
has happened.
Yeah,
Maybe.
being choked by your own panoose.
Well, I mean,
that would.
God damn it!
I'd probably be fine.
Marcel!
Oh, toothpicky.
Yeah, I want to. That'd be a
Just swallow her right down.
Yeah, just like a few Advil.
What's next? Yeah, the king could be choked out by the noose.
Oh,
but,
yeah.
You know.
What if they like folded it and shoved it down?
Yeah, maybe. They did it
What's
like a
bigger,
pancake.
your trachea or your panoose?
I don't know what's a trachea.
They do not believe foul play was involved with Mr. Cox. Went to the chipper. His mom, Deborah Sisk, wrote on Facebook, "He's with Christ and he doesn't have to endure any more of this horrible world. I love you, my baby, and I
Jesus.
can't wait to be with you."
Fuck.
She just started screaming when I found out how he died. It's bad enough that he's gone. It was the first day on the job. He was trying to find work and he's been putting in applications. She had that her son did not have experience with wood chippers.
She was so terrified that she was screaming, but then she had to run and put a status on Facebook up.
Yeah, a little
That's
update on
horrible,
Facebook.
horrible world.
Yeah,
I'm sure all like her 40 friends needed to know that.
Yeah.
Ooh, big guy. How many you got?
Well, I mean, I'm in the thousands. So
Anyway, what do we got for email?
We do have some email, and we have to announce that email is brought to you by Merck. Mark Leibovitz, our buddy, financial advisor. In today's complex financial environment, timely insights and prudent guidance are essential to effectively manage your money and work toward your goals. Mark Leibovitz can help you develop an investment strategy to address your needs and aspirations. Call today and tell him you are a friend of the show for a no-cost obligation consultation. 248-626-2000 and ask for Mark. Oh, and yeah.
Securities and advisory services offered through LPL Financial, a registered investment advisor. Member FINRA SIPC. Do you think I could consult him and see if he can help me reach my financial goals?
Sure, he could.
Yeah, he'd be a little smaller scale than probably what he's used to. But
I'm just.
Here's what we're gonna do. We're gonna take this $500 each.
We're gonna take this stick of bubble gum, and we're gonna take this Subway.
I'm trying to figure
coupon.
out right and turn that into somehow an apartment and a car.
Yeah.
You know what we're gonna do? We're gonna start with an Ask E.
Oh, okay.
We've got a bit of an Ask E here. All right.
All right.
Ask E question. We live in a
Divorcer.
suburban.
Sorry, no, I'm just kidding.
It's a little bit different. It's not a usual relationship. but
Those
it's-
are the worst to ask me because I'll just always say
right. You always want to ditch the chick.
Yeah, or the guy.
Hook up with some dude. We live in a suburban single-family home neighborhood in Oakland County. A vacant home around the corner was recently purchased. I have never seen a family or couple coming in or out of the house ever. What I have seen is activity on random nights when I drive past the home late night. There are anywhere between 5 to 10 expensive vehicles parked in the driveway
geez.
and in front of the house. Always men, never see girls/women. There's a lot of in and out, coming and going, but by the morning, the garage is closed and blinds are drawn. If this was in the neighborhood of the Fady Manor, would Big E profile the inhabitants? Would he make a call to the local authorities when he witnessed these events? I'm assuming that if anything happened with these people, my neighbors would give the none too familiar quotes, such as they saw the activity but didn't want to get involved, they were quiet and never bothered anyone, or didn't want to get pegged as racist, etc. E, what do you do? Here's my I have a theory of what's going on there.
Some sort of homosexual thing.
Gay porn shoots.
Could be, but this could be like one of my neighbors could have written this.
That's true.
That's a great point.
I've often thought
shit.
I don't know if we ever talked about it in the air or not, but I've often
Never
thought
seen a
about
chick. It's just dudes showing up at
we show
weird
up-
hours at night.
right going out of here at
And
never
then
earlier
the
than
loud
midnight.
One, the loud one comes out and pees.
Whatever
every night.
whizzes on cars and stuff.
Then gets in his car and screams out of the driveway.
With his head sticking out the
Yeah.
window.
That's another thing I've always read. Like when we leave here, I don't even ever even assume that there's another. I never even account that there might be a car coming down that road.
Yeah, you just fly right out of there.
Right.
You whip out of there.
Right.
I did that once and almost T-boned a neighbor. I swear to God. I don't know how I missed them. They didn't honk. They didn't slow down. They just carried on thinking, he'll stop. He'll stop. I didn't stop. And I missed this dude by inches.
Very rare to see anybody coming down that road.
Especially the
so.
time that we leave for sure. I don't know the answer. You don't mean
So wait a minute. Was there any? I missed it. I wasn't. You were talking to East.
It's
So I was
just
barely
cars, it
listening.
sound like.
It was just cars. Do they know if it's like Middle Eastern people, black people, white
She
people?
doesn't say that. That's
Is it
one thing-
implied though?
Well, she says at the end, they were quiet. They never bothered anyone. Didn't want to get pegged as racists, etc., etc. That'd be the none too familiar comment they'd hear from neighbors.
So she's never heard an Allah and or Akbar.
I don't know, dude. I'm not
At any
somebody who
point-
feels like just blinders on. I don't feel like calling who am I going to call? The cops. And then I have to talk to an officer. Then it's like a cop
Why
car
don't you
comes
roll
up.
down your window one night as you're passing by and say, "Hey,
Gentlemen.
gentlemen, just wondering what's going on at this household."
Yeah, change it. My advice is next time you're driving home at a late hour and you see all those cars, just knock on the door, do a little question. Hey,
What
guys,
sort of establishment is this?
That's no big deal, but it just seems like a weird situation over here. I just want to make sure everything's on the up and up.
Is there a right answer to this question? I know we're asking a retard, but
I don't know. I guess it's one of these things you have to experience a little bit. Like,
would you be offended? Because here's the thing. I would not be offended if the cops showed up at my house one night, knocked on the door, and said, "Hey, man, we've gotten a couple calls from neighbors. They
Weird.
see some activity
Every
here. Just
night.
wondering what's going on. Do you mind if we have a look around?" I'd say, "Come on in, officer." No, I totally understand.
But
there's 4 or 5 cars in my driveway at midnight every night, and then they all leave, and then they're like, "Yeah, here's what's going on." Like, I wouldn't take offense to that, and I would almost feel like, yeah, whatever. If people in the neighborhood were worried, didn't know what it was, it seems out of the ordinary. Either they're running a midnight fucking daycare center or something's going on there.
Right.
What is it? I would never.
but you're not-
personally, I would have a problem with that.
This does seem like whatever she's describing obviously is some sort of weird situation for sure.
She's alluding to something too. The fact that it looks like she said nice cars, didn't she?
Yeah.
real expensive cars, 5 to 10 expensive vehicles.
Which
parked in the
sounds like a
driveway.
drug den almost.
Yeah.
God, that's weird. What kind of neighborhood does she live in? I wonder.
Yeah, if
Like
she's
overall.
if she's in a rather rundown neighborhood,
No, let's assume it's not.
I would assume that it's middle of the ground is what I was.
Assume it's nice.
like how nice, like middle class, upper middle class,
Single family home
West
neighborhood in
Bloomfield.
Oakland County. Let's assume it's.
I mean, it's in Oakland County for
let's-
one. So.
which doesn't mean everything, but
No,
let's
but-
assume it's nice.
Okay.
Assume it's a $450,000 house.
Okay, that's really nice. Yeah, that I think that seems a little weird.
Would you start with your neighborhood association, like an email to that dude, and just be like, "What's up with this new?"
It's not a bad
Is that
place to
reasonable?
start. I hate the idea of wasting the police's resources with dumb shit.
Plus, I don't want those people seeing
Or
a cop come to my
paranoid
house,
shit.
to be honest with you. And then the cop comes and
No,
talks
you
to
can call them anonymously, completely off the record,
Yeah.
where they won't call you or anything. Like,
Right.
there's definitely ways to do that, where you can submit something. You could probably email it.
Yeah, you're
a
probably
submission. Yeah, that's not a bad idea though. Let it start to go up the ladder. If you don't hear anything back, though, maybe.
But I don't think you want to be the one that comes back to the starting.
No, you don't. You definitely don't. But I think it warrants a question.
We could call on her behalf.
Ooh,
huh?
Good suggestion. P.S. Can you tell me the brand of peanut butter that you like? Well, I really
Jif.
like Jif Creamy Reduced Fat.
But
That's
you
the
know,
King's
yeah.
peanut butter. But what has become my replacement, because it's supposedly better for me, is Peanut Butter and Company, and that's with an ampersand.
Asshole.
Smooth Operator. Smooth Operator is the smooth version of the peanut butter and company brand.
And people really like that peanut butter.
Yeah, it's good.
I like extra crunchy, just FYI. I don't know. The question didn't say it was specific, unless it was specific.
No, it was
to you.
to me. It
Oh,
was to me.
well,
so
I like extra.
that was irrelevant. We can cut that out, Mike.
Okay.
In post.
Good.
David writes in, Jay, I can't stand that stupid clock boy. So of course this is Ahmed,
Mhm.
such and such. Can't stand the stupid clock boy, but there's something fun you can do with that idiot. Have you noticed he looks like a human Q-tip? He has a giraffe neck and a head shaped like a Q-tip. Or he looks like a Beavis and Butthead character. I would love to see Kadog work his magic and put his head and neck on a Q-tip or paste his stupid head on a giraffe. So there's some homework for Kadog.
Okay.
We know Kadog listens to the show.
Kadog actually does listen to the show.
I'm like another nerd.
McCard does not listen to the show.
Nerd guy. Hey, on that, let's save the rest for tomorrow, Mike.
Okay. Well, yeah, let's call it a day there. Thanks everybody for hanging with us. We certainly appreciate it. We'll do it again tomorrow. We'll see you guys then.
You've been listening to the Detroit Cast with your hosts, Mike and Jay. From all of us at Radio for One Studios, thank you for listening. And as always, thank you, Detroit.
Listen to God, watch you grow. You know not what remains shallow. All your stuff.